Hello, everybody. Welcome to a week. I don't know why I always do this week. Episode 11, week 12, because we missed a week. So I don't want to get that all mixed up and confusing. This week, we have the pleasure and the honor to bring on the one, the only, Joseph McKeague, a 1/16th legend. Very excited. Joe has been retired for, what is it now, 2 years?
I think it's like 3 or...
Almost 3.
See?
What?
I knew it was 3.
That's
I'm not a fake friend.
Crazy. I was
Last
thinking
time
back.
I shaved too.
No way.
That's amazing.
Yeah, last time I shaved, yeah. It's been 3 years.
That's so amazing.
We're going to need a picture by the end.
Oh, that's pretty sick. The Mohawk's fucking rocking, bro.
Let's go.
Beard is swole.
I know.
Got my ears pierced, bro.
What?
Let's go.
Got my ears pierced.
All right, we're going to need a full facial 3D animation of your
I was trying to find out how to do the video on the Discord, and then I saw that you can't do that, and I was like,
oh yeah,
man, this is a face for YouTube, not for Spotify. I was a little disappointed.
You can do camera on Discord.
Couldn't find it.
So if you go to, you're on the computer, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the channel we're in, episode recording, and then just to the right of where it says episode recording.
Oh, there is now the camera thing is on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Oh snap! Here we go.
It's loading. It's loading. Oh,
psych!
It died.
Why wouldn't it let me? Yeah, so you won't let me do it. Oh, there it is.
Hey, there we go.
Oh my god, dude! I remember when I saw you at the Mariners game, and I was like, "Hell yeah!"
I was wondering if you guys remembered that, because I didn't remember it until a couple weeks ago.
Totally remember.
When was the last time I've seen these fuckers?
Yeah. Oh, dude, your mohawk is sick.
It's rocking, bro.
So my fun fact for you.
Do I have to turn my camera on?
I've been thinking about doing that. We should start doing this just to have it on the side.
If you're gonna be on YouTube, you should have camera.
Preach.
Oh.
But I was when we were getting ready for the episode. So by the way, everybody, we've killed fun facts. We're over it. So now the guests are just gonna do just four words to describe themselves, or 4 things to describe themselves. But when I was
Mount Rushmore of themselves.
Yeah. But while I was trying to think of some fun facts before we officially killed it, my fun fact about Joe was going to be that he's the most fashionable man I've ever met. And here he is. Look at him.
100%.
Being
Look
fashionable as fuck.
Bro, I get comments on this sweater literally everywhere I go.
I couldn't tell if it was a
ass people just stop me and ask about this fucking sweater, bro.
That's a nice
badass.
sweater.
It's a sick ass sweater.
Especially with the beard and the hair. Yeah. Ladies, watch out.
A lot of things work with this beard and hair. I did a little haircut today. Shape things
Love
up
it.
For myself. I saved so much money cutting my own hair. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 things about myself. Originally from Maryland. I'm a Baltimore boy, so I got an East Coast attitude. My soul's in Maryland, but my heart's in the Pacific Northwest. I never want to leave this weather. I like the rain. I like the clouds.
Hashtag
coast is my happy place. I live in Seattle now. I go to University of Washington doing a wetland science and management program. I like all Washington, D.C. sports. Big sports fan.
Go Caps, baby.
Go Caps, baby. And got some side pieces in Baltimore and Seattle, but
I bet.
Married to all my DC teams. And then one more thing. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd for comic books and Star Wars and all the movies and nerd culture things.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is wonderful.
Love it.
So I will say this: if you want to keep your camera on, I power to you. I'm not going to tell you to turn it off. I don't have a camera to turn on. I don't know if Liv is presentable.
I do, but I
own...
also look like a gremlin, I guess would be the best way to describe it today. My hair is like, we went to church this morning, and then after that I came home and just like put on sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Turn mine off to be uniform, and this backwards killing me.
But maybe we should plan for next week.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Totally. I don't know how to bring this back to like everybody. No. Can you guys hear the cat screaming at the top of his lungs?
No.
Unfortunate. It's really funny.
That is funny.
There we go. Okay, well, yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for telling us a little bit about yourself. Those are all really fun things. Next up, let's I think there's been some excitement in the past week. So Liv, why don't you kick us off with what your last week of life has looked like?
All right, I'll start with the positive. I planted a lot of seeds yesterday, meaning actual seeds. Eddie and I are starting a garden. So I have
going to say family.
No. No. This would not be the no offense to you guys and all the listeners. This would not be the first place I announced my pregnancy.
No, just that there's a lot of seeds planted, you know?
Oh my God. No, that's not the news I have to report. That's why I said planted.
I mean, it should definitely be the public announcement for him. I feel like you can tell your family and stuff like that. But I mean, I think I would think like your podcast would get it before the IG does, or are you going to the gram first?
Well, I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe I should use the podcast, and then simultaneously I'll have like a post ready and like hit post after I say it on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Ooh, smart.
Yeah.
Double prong.
So TBD, but no, literally planting seeds, planted like jalapenos, bunch of herbs and stuff like that. Banana peppers. Gonna try out some asparagus, cucumbers. You know, yeah, because we're my father-in-law is coming into town this next week, which that's fun too. But him and Eddie are going to build our raised garden beds. So right now I just have them all in their little tiny, like, I don't even know the word. It's not holes, but like, it's like the little tiny individual, like spots that you put them in. And then like, I have a heating pad under them just to help them like germinate and stuff. Cause it's still kind of chilly. But yeah, I'm excited to be a plant mom for now. Yeah. And then I guess the biggest news this week, I may or may not be losing my job.
Woohoo!
Thanks to the government. So we'll see. TBD. I've had a couple of freak out sessions, some tears. But you know what? That's life. And I've kind of come to terms with it now, and I'm basically waiting for an email this week saying, "Don't bother coming into work tomorrow." So, we'll see.
Have you had to do the 5 things you did last week email?
So the DoD, actually, I got an email from the Pentagon today that said, "Don't reply to that because the DoD is doing their own like internal review process of jobs." So we got told not to reply to that email for now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but I started writing some sick ass bullets, though. I will say, in case I have to justify my work to anyone.
That's true. That's true. Like we were trained in like the bullet writing. Like you should excel at like the 5 things you did last week.
Yeah, and like it's so funny because I was like, man, which 5 things am I gonna pick? Maybe it's hard.
Oh yeah, because you got to save some for next week.
Exactly. What if this is going to be a weekly review? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that with like my job applications for the fun employment stuff where you got to list like what jobs you applied for. I'll apply for like 3 this week and leave some for next week to apply for.
Heck yeah. 100%.
Oh, dude, the
Yeah,
government's going
so-
to come after you now. They're listening.
They're
We're so
listening
popular.
to me too.
We're so popular that they listen to us now.
They're listening. Yeah. Well, if you're listening, please don't fire me. Fuck. That'd be nice. Anyway, yeah, that's the biggest news. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Isn't it so exciting? I go into work every day not knowing if I'm gonna get fired. It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, super exciting.
Yeah.
Is that it? Was that your whole week?
Yeah. Basically, nothing else to report. There's just been
sitting
so
on
much
the
back and
edge of your
forth,
seat.
wishy washy. Yeah. Yeah. That and I planted some seeds.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go next. Nothing. So the week itself was pretty boring. Unfortunately, we had 4-day drill weekend, so just
Laugh.
today. A little low energy today after all them days of work. What happened? Anything interesting happen at drill? No, it did not. We sat around. That was fun. But in good news, I'm finally to the point where I'm comfortable talking about my new job opportunity. Because it was officially offered to me. But now all of this government excitement is putting it all still up in the air, kind of. So
Yeah.
it's down in Southern California in Santa Maria, working for the Space Force, doing coordination for space launches. And by coordination, I mean like all of the coordination between ATC, FAA, the local community, NOTAMs, everything. It's just doing all of it, and then doing supervising contractors that actually control the airspace while the space launches are happening. And so this week I still have to talk to HR and get the rundown on what the pay is going to be and all that jazz. So we'll see how that goes. Or they might just tell me, hey, everything's on pause, because everything is on pause. But I guess we'll find out. Guess we will find out.
That is very exciting, though. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. Not really sure what happens with the guard once if this goes all the way through.
Oh.
I have my ETSs in January, so I think my current plan is to go down there, really go balls to the walls on school, and figure out how to do the old dirty conversion to the O side. And there's an A&G base at Vandenberg, and they have a space operations center. So maybe I can be a space ABM.
That'd be insane.
Who knows? We'll see.
Sick.
More to come on that end, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's pretty exciting.
Yes. Other big news. It was a sad day yesterday. My beloved Subaru WRX was sold yesterday, and it left the driveway.
Oh my god.
It's an end of an era.
It'll be all right.
I've got seller's remorse already. It hadn't been started in a year and a half, and it started up just fine, and just hearing the rumble and sitting inside of it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to let you go.
Yeah, but
you're about to say that an animal died, and I was not going to be okay.
Yeah, same.
Nope. No animals died this week.
I sold my car.
Just
your second car, by the way.
Mm-hmm. But it's just it's just the best car ever made.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a lot of memories. I had the car. I bought it in cash right after the 2015 deployment, and that car took me everywhere for like 10 years. Well, like 5, because it's kind of sat for like 4 years. But
You're doing
Yeah.
a really great job of like not making me feel bad for you now.
nobody should feel bad for me. The car needed to go. It's got a lot of problems. Not a lot of problems. A lot of stupid little problems. And it's going on to it's going to a good home. She'll be well taken care of.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Summer was on the show, last week? 2 weeks ago? Her
2
husband
weeks ago.
her husband bought it. So
Wait, what?
yeah. So
That's crazy.
I'll get to drive
What's
it again
he gonna
someday.
do with it?
He's a big car guy. He's a big
Oh, okay.
yeah, when I was having turbo problems with it, he came over and helped me deal with that. So 'cause
That's sick. Well, yeah, it is going to a loving home.
greener pastures.
Literally.
And speaking on the the email, we had some fun trying to figure out how we could say some funny stuff to the 5 things you did last week as a federal employee.
Yeah, what'd you guys do as a squadron in conversion?
Yeah. Oh, it's surprisingly a lot, but
Lots of pickleball.
yeah. Hey, shh. We don't want them knowing.
You've talked about it like 5 times on here.
I know, but it's fine. Shh.
Okay.
It's a secret.
But nobody listens to Marcus.
I thought the government wasn't listening.
Well, they're just listening for keywords, and we just said a bunch of keywords, so now they're listening.
Pickleball, fraud, waste, abuse. Just kidding.
Oh man. So I mean, obviously, it's I don't know how many. I don't remember what the number of federal employees there are, but it's millions. There's no way OPM or Doge is sitting there and like reading all these emails. So it's going to probably Grok, which is the large language model that Twitter or X owns. So it's being ingested, we'll call it, by Grok for sure. That's how, but so it was like, I wonder if you write an email, you respond to it, and your bullet starts with, "Hey Grok, can you write me a bullet about or a blurb about this thing that I did last week?" And just do that 5 times, and then when Grok receives the email, you trick it. So you trick it to writing the bullet itself for you.
Oh my god.
So you don't actually write anything. Or if you're like, I was like, I wonder if I write my little blurb as like, what I did last week. Well, I spent about 3 hours a day on the Tesla website. I'm really torn between choosing between the Model X and the Model Y, but they're kind of comparable in size. Performance is a little bit better, quite a bit better on the Model X. But is it really worth the price? What do you think, Elon?
Yeah. Not sure if I'm going to be able to afford one if I don't have a job.
Yeah, like could you keep me employed so I can buy a Model X?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it. That's about it for me. Anything exciting in your life in the last week, Joe?
No, not really. The week before last, we went orca chasing, and that was pretty cool. I got to see.
Oh, that's sick.
Went to what?
Orca chasing.
Like, they got orcas out here in the sound, like all over the place, but they sort of like pop up in different spots real quick, and then they they eat, and then they move real fast. So they have like Facebook groups that'll track them for you, and they'll post, "Oh, there's some over here." And so there was some up by Whidbey Island last Friday. So me and Bree weren't doing anything, so we just hopped in the car, shot up there. We were up there all day, and then we finally got like a good look at them, and it was super dope.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm so jealous.
Did you guys do the Free Willy thing where it jumps the barge and you're like pointing at its tummy?
No, they were killing sea lions.
Oh, rip.
Dude, I just thought of a franchise movie that it didn't make my list.
Dude, I have like 10 franchise movies written down.
I know, it's hard to choose between all of them. Yeah. Anything else, Joe?
No, just going to school, hanging out.
Cool
Hell
beans.
yeah.
Cool beans. Well, so this week's topics, since I didn't hit those yet, we're going to cover our Mount Rushmore of places to poop, movie franchises, and advice to our 16-year-old self.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the top comment for the week, once again, Jack Ryan. So Joe, I think, is the current record holder of
Reigning
number of comments, the reigning champ. But Jack Ryan here is quickly creeping up on him. So his comment from last week, so we did conspiracies last week, but so he says, not many people know this. The real moon landing was recorded in a documentary called Wallace and Gromit, and it's actually made of cheese. Don't believe what they want you to think.
Dude, I forgot about Wallace and Gromit.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, hilarious. It's cheese.
Yeah, I would love to go to the moon and eat the cheese. And I guess that was just more of a fun fact. And he says, my favorite conspiracy is that math is fake, existential spiral that Terrence Howard must have whenever one of his kids asks him for help with their math homework. He probably starts yelling about the geometry of hydrogen or something before storming off. I don't know if you guys have been tracking the Terrence Howard stuff and his math conspiracy.
I saw him getting roasted by some guy who knew what he was talking about on like a Joe Rogan clip or something for about 3 minutes, and then I turned it off.
Yeah.
I have not heard of this.
Okay, so it's quite out there. It is.
He thinks that 1 times 1 is 1 or 0 or something.
2.
Oh.
Or 2. He thinks 1 times 1 is 0.
And his example is if you take $1 times $1, how many dollars do you have? You have $2. That's, like he makes these arguments. It's actually
multiplying the same dollar.
No, you have 2 different dollars, just like in a math equation where you go 1 times 1.
But that's not multiplication.
Yeah, but aren't you multiplying it by itself?
You can't multiply. That's addition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys should watch the Joe Rogan episode. Not because I think he's right. It's just an entertaining episode. And he does make some actual valid points. So probably 80% of his stuff is kind of out in the streets, and it kind of seems like he did one too many drugs. And something broke in his brain. But he does actually make some interesting points about some stuff. And then Joe Rogan did a follow-up episode where Eric Weinstein comes on the show, who is one of like the leading mathematicians in the world. And they have not necessarily a debate, but they have a conversation where Eric, he's a really nice guy, they have an educated conversation where Eric tells him why he's wrong about a bunch of the things that he's wrong about, and then says, but you do have a point about X, Y, and Z thing. It's quite interesting.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, it's more for entertainment. Cool. Well, thanks, Jack Ryan. That's I totally forgot about that Terrence Howard stuff. That's a good one. Well, before we move on to the actual topics, if you're still here after the intro, thanks for being here. Hit us with a like, a sub, give us some of your comments on the topics coming up. And with that, let's move on to the topics. Who should start today, Liv? Who should start?
Ooh. I can take this one. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, question before we begin. Is your own throne assumed?
No.
Listen, whatever your no.
So your home toilet is not assumed.
Correct.
No.
Okay.
If you don't like your home toilet.
Yeah, what if there's some pervert out there that likes to not poop at home?
I like one of my toilets. I don't like the other one. I'll talk about that later.
All right, so topic number 1 is going to be our favorite places to poop.
No, it's just why I was asking if your own throne is assumed. You know what I mean?
It's a valid question.
The John, the crapper, whatever you want to call it, turlet. Okay, well, my first one is gonna be my turlet. So we have in my house we have two toilets. One's in the master bathroom, one's in the guest bathroom. The guest bathroom toilet seat is a wee bit small for my liking. You know what I mean?
I must be really small because you're really small.
Yeah, well, I think they initially like made it because like a kid's bathroom, not necessarily a kid's bathroom, but there's like a smaller seat. I feel like.
Oh, okay.
It's not-
Maybe you're just small, but you still take man-sized shits.
Well,
That's the problem.
so that'll come up. That'll come up later. Anywho,
Goody.
the one you guys are gonna learn a lot about me. The one in our master bathroom, it's like the toilet has its own room type of setup, and like I can just shut the door and nobody fucking bothers me. The dogs can't come in because every time I'm on the toilet and I leave the door open, both my dogs come in to where the toilet is, and I'm like, can you guys please leave me alone? Or like
dude,
Eddie
my
will
cat
come
does
find me
that
and start
too.
talking to me, or like something's happening, and I just like my own space every once in a while. So I'm gonna go with the toilet in my master bathroom as number one. It's where I feel most comfortable. So yeah, Marcus, on to you.
Oh man, it's gonna be an easy one at home. It's
Yeah,
to be honest, it's the only place I like pooping. I only have one favorite, so I just had to like.
I have more than one.
It's my safe space. I just feel comfortable. My cheeks are used to my seat, you know?
Oh God.
Yeah. I've sat on it enough, like thousands of hours, so it's kind of molded to me.
Thousands?
Yeah, you know, every time, you know.
How long?
Dude, I'm a dude. It's like 45 minutes every single time.
I know, but why is that? It's just because you're watching videos, right? I've always
Watching
wondered.
videos, playing games.
That's what
just
I'm
finding just finding some fucking peace in the world, man. That's
Yeah.
that's the one thing about home for me, is that it's like there's no time limit. I can't. No one's
Right.
gonna like need
Exactly.
to.
But
Yeah.
Exactly.
so it's not just that there's no time limit. So I have a few friends that are turbo poopers that I swear they poop and wipe. Maybe they don't wipe. I don't know. They do it faster than I go and take a piss. And I
it's
don't
called
know.
the old shit and get. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. I'm incapable of that. I will, if I take a 45-minute poop, at minute 43, a poop still came out.
What?
Yeah, but like it takes a while. Like I'm not a. It's not like it comes out in the first 10 seconds and then I just sit there in the toilet for 30 minutes. It's like every 5 minutes, I like a poop comes
pooping
out.
the whole time you're on the toilet.
Not the whole time, but there's like it comes in like waves.
What?
And then usually like I'll add an extra 10 minutes just to be like, I don't know if there's something in there. And then sometimes you start wiping and so you're like moving around and then another turd works its way loose. And you're like, oh, goody. Bonus.
Wow. I'm
leaving
not like that
leaving
at
a
all.
little tip on top.
Blech.
Gotta tip the toilet. Yeah. And so yeah, I agree with
Are you-
Joe's. It's
Are you what do they call it? Upper decking?
no,
What?
I'm not. No.
No, that's
You
like
fucking
you
weirdo.
don't do that to yourself. That's like a terrible prank you play on somebody else that you
Yeah.
don't plan on being friends with much
What
longer.
a weird question,
know.
Olivia. How dare you?
Well, I don't know if you're if you're on the toilet for 45 minutes and every 5 minutes more poop's coming out, is the pile not super high?
Oh,
Do you not know what an upper decker is?
An upper decker, I thought's when you shit on the seat.
No.
Well, no, it's when you shit in like the back tank.
Oh, what's it called? What's it called? What's it called when you shit on the toilet seat?
That you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, really, like yeah. You're
It's
a
called
horrible
being
person.
a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Dying right
An
now.
unsanitary
Oh my
fucking douche. That's what it's called.
God. I thought that was I thought that was an upper decker.
Oh, you're such a
Oh,
ding
man.
dong, dude.
It's so funny. Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
no,
my
sometimes, I mean, these aren't like, they're not, I guess some people, every now and then you have just like a massive log and you're like, wow, that was one and done. But then you still sit there for another 10, 15 minutes, like to make sure there's nothing else. And
I'll bet, dude.
95%.
I need like 15 minutes to like let my bowels contract to a point that I know like, all right, everything's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise,
Or like,
everything's so there. You're just walking around, everything like open. Like, I'm
see,
not sure.
mine's
I'm gonna
like
have to go
5-10
back.
minutes max.
oh, I mean, sometimes I'm jealous, but it's just nice. Like sometimes I swear to God, I lose like 5 to 10 pounds. And one time in college, I knew I was going to have the biggest shit of my life. I just felt it. I'd been like backed up for a few days. And I have roommates from back then that can vouch for this. I weighed myself before and after, and it was like a 10.6 pound difference.
That's unbelievable.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I do not believe that. For
I will get the texts. I got 2 roommates that saw me weigh myself before and after.
10 pounds? That's
You
the
were
size
a
of a baby.
Yeah.
That's a big baby.
That's a big baby at best. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those, being like drinking a bunch, eating like Taco Bell and McDonald's, and then getting backed up and like not pooping for a couple of days, and then finally it was like
God.
was ready, and yeah, it was. I looked pregnant before, not after.
Yike.
Swear to God. Okay. Yeah, home. I agree with Joe's thing. It's just nice to have time. You're not rushed. Your turn,
Yeah.
Joe.
Okay, my turn. I like pooping at work. Like when you just need 5 minutes to get like people just bugging you all day. You need 5 minutes to get away. Just like nobody's gonna bother you on the shitter. Like, so that's usually like my first. And then like getting paid to poop is great. And we used to at my Maryland Guard unit, we would like do the math on how much we got paid every week to poop.
That's amazing.
Professional poopers.
Yeah,
That's so amazing.
It was legit. But yeah, and like those times when you just like need a break, but you really shouldn't be taking one. Like nobody can yell at you for
Taking a crap.
Yeah, faking a crap, even if you're actually having a crap.
Right.
And like if you're real tired and you end up like falling asleep a little bit, it's not like it's never gonna
for
caught.
5 minutes.
Yeah, take a little fiver on the can.
My problem is I literally cannot do it. If my life depended on it and I needed to poop, I couldn't do it in 5 minutes. I would just die. It's impossible.
Oh my God.
I have 33 years of practice.
You need to work on that.
No, I really don't. I disagree.
You get enough fiber in your diet there, babe?
No.
It's your problem.
No, it's not. It's been like this my entire life. It's not fiber. Actually, you know what I do? I literally eat a pound of broccoli a day. So I think I'm getting enough fiber. And that just instead of like having, I don't know how much detail we want to go into here.
I mean, we're already talking about shitting, so
yeah, they're not logs. They're just like, it's just the consistency is it's not even close to diarrhea. It's like if diarrhea is one end of the spectrum and just a solid like slightly painful log is the other spectrum, I'm smack dab in the middle.
So you have healthy shits.
Maybe I would say there may be a little bit. I don't know. I guess I don't know what a healthy shit is, but if I had to take a guess,
it's smooth.
If they do not resemble a turd. It's kind of like soft serve.
Look up the poop chart. Google poop charts, and it'll tell you what's going on with your diet.
Well, carnivore is happening with it. and that's nothing's gonna change
that'll
that.
give you the shit.
All right, here. Blobs that are soft and pass easily. That's the one. Healthy is sausage-shaped stool, but smooth and soft like a snake.
That's what mine have been looking like recently.
Okay, so it's sausage-shaped. That's what it is. Because this is the other one.
So
The blobs is saying that it's like comes out in little chunks.
Yeah.
No. This is just like a sausage shape, and as they pile up, it turns into a pile that you can't tell. You can't be like, oh, there's a turd. It's just like one pile.
It's just a pile of sausage. Ground sausage.
They all kind of melt into each other.
Oh God.
It's like it ends up looking like a Hershey Kiss.
To each other is the straw for me.
This is perfect. It looks like a giant Hershey Kiss at the bottom of the toilet.
My God.
Okay, so it's Joe's turn. I'm taking all the.
Yeah, no, that's healthy. That's healthy.
Perfect.
It's not my turn.
Healthy,
It's
guys.
Olivia's turn.
Oh man. Okay, so for my next one, I'm gonna do a quick backstory. So the place that I work
one
in.
Second. Can you fiddle around with your microphone connection?
Yeah, is it doing weird stuff?
Yeah, there's like
You're
a
real
weird.
buzzy.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
buzz.
you guys
going
can
on.
hear that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're real buzzy.
Oh man, I can hear it too. One sec.
Beep, beep.
How about now?
Perfect.
That's better.
Okay. Well, if it
I'm
happens,
gonna get some Bluetoothers, so like you can just finish this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, backstory. So I work in an 800 square foot building with
Wow,
5
that's big.
men. No, that's small. It's
Oh.
tiny, and I work with 5 other men. In the women's restroom is you walk in and there's a toilet and a sink to the left, and it's maybe 4x4 room that I poop in at work. Very small. Or that I would poop in at work. So sorry, where I use the restroom at work. Because it's so small and there's a slight crack under the door, I do not poop in my workplace. I go to the BX. So my second place is the BX.
What?
So
You're weird. That's weird.
No, and I will wait a second. So my reasoning behind this, and I quote Eddie today when we were talking about what I'm going to put for my poop. Oh man, the buzz is back. One sec.
Yeah, it is. You're buzzing.
Oh my gosh.
What is it? What are you doing to fix it?
I'm like
Silence.
unplugging it and then plugging it back in.
Oh, it's so weird.
I think it might be my headphone jack that I'm using.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, so the it's too small, and when Eddie and I were talking about it today, he's like, you do drop some hefty logs. Quote from Eddie Miller. You drop hefty logs. So why would I want to drop those hefty logs where as soon as I open the door after I'm done shitting, it's going to fill the room?
You just close the door behind you? Question mark?
Isn't that what normal people do? Is like shut the door?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you'd
but
rather
You
shit.
guys not have a fan in your bathroom?
No, there's no fan.
Get some spray.
There's no
I mean,
spray?
We do have
You
spray.
gotta have fan or spray. You gotta have one or the other. You can't just not have anything there.
I have spray.
That's a facility's problem. That's not your problem.
I have spray.
It's your
One
facility.
second.
They need to get on that shit.
Yeah, probably. Let me try and disconnect my friggin' headphones. One second. You guys talk amongst yourselves, or Marcus can go. All I'm saying is I don't poop in my workplace.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Thank you.
Literally the SNL special.
Here, I'll
I
give
think-
you a topic.
Yeah. Talk about your top places to poop. Anyway, I just can't poop in my workplace. I just don't. I don't know. I just get weirded out about it. So I don't poop every day at work. I'll either poop before work or after work in the comfort of my own home. But then every great once in a while, I get the urge and I'm like, I'll be right back. And then I leave for like 15 minutes. And when I come back, my colon is cleansed.
Dude, that's wild. That you have a bathroom where you're the only person inside of it, and you're giving that up to go to a public restroom in the BX. You're weird.
The other thing too is like I'm scared they'd be able to hear it because my farts are really loud sometimes. Like before you're pooping when you're when you're starting to push. Do you guys ever have like super mega loud farts?
Never.
Well, yeah.
There's no way they wouldn't be able to hear that.
I feel like we're all like adults though, and we know like.
I know, but like if you're just sitting there and like it's quiet and you just hear like you don't think you'd be like, ugh.
I would laugh.
Me and my friends would be cheering you. We'd be like, well done. Well done.
I don't think these guys are like that. And like I know you like they're my friends because like I work with them. But like I feel like I know you guys well enough to like I wouldn't care if you heard me.
I think you should ask them and then report back next week what they said.
They're going to be like, you do what?
Yeah, if you tell them, hey guys, I sometimes, actually every time I have to poop, I go to the BX because I'm afraid that you guys are going to hear me blow my ass out and then you're going to smell the women's bathroom. What do you think about that?
And it's going to smell like death.
They're going to be like, you're
just like
literally a weirdo.
Like getting a never-ending wiper.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like wiping the end of a Sharpie.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, how?
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about my BX pooping, which for those of you who don't know what the BX is, it's like the shopping center on bases. So I go into the public restroom instead of my own designated restroom to take a shit at work out of fear that I will stink up the joint. I'm going to work on my headset real quick, but Marcus, over to you.
You're weird. All right. Next one I'm going to do is hotel after... What did I write here? Oh, after flying all day. So, you've just been on an airplane all day. You probably got to the airport at like 8 a.m. and started drinking, and then you're just like eating the worst food ever at the airport, 1, and 2 on the plane, just getting absolutely backed up. And then you finally get back to your hotel after holding your shit all day, and then you just let it rip in that poor little bathroom. And it just feels good.
I can see what you're saying. Here's why the post-flight poop is definitely like a world of it.
I think you cut out. What's up? Is a what? Hello? Anybody there? Anybody at all?
Nothing I look forward to about pooping after a flight.
I'll be honest, Joe, you cut out for like a solid 45 seconds there. Everybody did.
Yeah.
Maybe it was my internet.
Discord keeps doing that to me. I'm just saying there's nothing about the post-flight poop that I enjoy. It's definitely like a thing of its own, but like the pressure changes in flights like do stuff to your gastric system that make things weird, and there's just nothing comfortable about it.
That's
you definitely have to get off a flight.
I will say, so at this point in life, I don't like if I'm flying for a long time, actually flying at all, I just don't eat. I fast because I agree. Like anything that I eat will just destroy my stomach for like the whole day.
I've read that if you cut like salt out of your diet for like 24 hours, you'll be good.
Oh, wow.
I haven't
Yeah, I don't
tried that because I'm unable to eat food without salt in it, but
Yeah, I will not give up salt for anything. I'll just fast instead.
yeah, no, fasting's probably a good idea. I just started the I've been trying the intermittent fasting thing, the 16-8 diet, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
I don't
legit.
do
So I will agree with you, I guess. So maybe just here, I'll change it. It'll be hotel after long day of travel in general. I'm not saying the airplane poop is the good poop. I'm saying just you like get to your hotel and you're like, it's kind of like home. It's like pseudo home. And you're like, oh yes.
Yeah.
Peace and quiet. And hopefully, because the bathrooms in hotels always echo really bad because they have all the tile everywhere usually, and you're right next to the door, so everybody in the hallway definitely hears you blow your ass out. So that's fun, but you're never gonna see those people, so who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn?
Think so.
All right. So I have very short legs, like in relation to I have the legs of somebody who should be like 5'4", and the upper torso of somebody who should be like 6'1".
Yeah, built
And
the same.
I cannot stand tall toilets. I sit on a tall toilet, I'll like do the bare minimum. Like I will just like pinch off what I need to get out and then fuck off out of there. Because I just feel like a child. Like I could like half the time. So many toilets I could just like swing my legs on like a fucking 8-year-old, and I hate that. Like so we have 2 toilets in our apartment, and one is like the half bath in our bedroom, and it's a real short toilet, and that's pretty much the only one I use. Our main bathroom one is so fucking tall, and I don't understand it, and it just really makes it. It's upset. Tall toilets are upsetting for me. So short toilets are the only place to poop for me.
I agree. Sorry, I'm back. I also have short legs, so totally get that. Have you ever tried using a squatty potty on taller toilets though?
I have.
What?
It's like this. It's like the footrest for your feet, and it's like better pooping
squatty potty?
posture. Yeah.
Oh yeah, squatty potty's the best.
Yeah. That's the mitigation, I feel like, for a tall toilet. But I totally am with you on the short toilet thing. And then, super quick, hotel after a long day, came in at the tail end of that. I hate pooping in hotels because I feel like everyone in the hallway can hear me.
It's like for some reason the only place where I don't care if other people hear me. I don't know why. I hate public bathrooms. I'll talk about it more later, so I won't get into it now. But
yeah. Short toilet's good. Hotel toilet's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's so funny you say that, Joe, because I've been, earlier about you having really short legs and a tall torso, because I have the same thing. And I've been trying to learn about men's fashion and all this stuff, and there's this rule of thirds where your pants. The goal is to try and get as close to your pants being 2/3 of your body and your shirt being 1/3 of your whole body, type of thing. So 2/3 and 1/3. And it's impossible for me. I can barely get to half and half because my legs are so short and my torso is so long. So I just it's 1/3 is pants and 2/3 is shirt. And it just looks like I'm fucking smuggling somebody on my shoulders. And it's the stupidest thing in the world. I hate it.
I've never heard this 2/3 rule.
Yeah, it's called I don't know. I just saw it on some YouTube video of some lady who seemed like she knew what she was talking about, and then she showed a bunch of examples, and I was like, oh yeah, that actually does look really good. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess you pulled it. You can pull it off. So
all choppy.
Okay. Do you want me to go, or were you guys talking about pooping?
Nope. It's your turn.
Okay, sweet. For my next one, I think I'm gonna go airport.
What the fuck dude? You're so weird.
What did you say, Joe?
Airport poop is a good poop.
Oh,
it is because I feel like
weird.
I feel like I can't get on a plane without taking a good poop. Either I have to poop at my house or wherever I am before I go to the airport, or I have to do it at the airport because I won't poop on a plane. Unless it's like a really long flight and I have to go, I'll still try to poop before. I just hate shitting on an airplane. So airport poops, I don't care how loud I am. I don't care how much I stink it up because I'm never, ever, ever going to see these people ever again in my whole entire life.
That's crazy.
And they all got the big stalls where you can like hang all your stuff up on the hooks, or they got like ledges where you can put all your stuff. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and sometimes there's music playing, so like I don't even care, man. I just get on my phone and I do my business.
But
But I can't get on a plane without having a clean asshole.
Well, you could just wipe, but
No, not like that. I mean, like, okay, sorry, I can't have poop in my colon before I get on a plane. Is that
you were
better for
messing.
you?
You were messing with your sound. Did you hear us talking about this about fasting?
What, before you get on a plane?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that.
I will not, if I know I'm flying, I will not eat. I'll only drink water and like electrolytes until I am wherever I need to be. I cannot stand
That's
eating.
bizarre.
Well, no, because it's having anything in your tum-tum makes things go bubble up in the air. So because
the pressure changes of going up and down will fuck with your gut.
Yeah, you get like.
Oh man,
weird...
I fart on an airplane all the time.
My problem. I don't mind. Bro. I don't mind farting on the airplane.
Can't hear it.
I don't mind.
And they
farting
can't smell
on the
it either because the airplane pressurization, like fucking, and the filtration systems, they just suck it all. Like I fart all the time.
That's not my frustration. My frustration is if I eat before getting on a plane, I'll be bloated for over a week. Like I will just be like I will feel like I'm gonna shit my pants like 5 times every day for a week, and I'll go to the toilet and it'll be over. And I'm like, God damn it. It's such a tease. I will
get like cramps on a flight where it's like painful to fly if like I eat too much salt or whatever, but I will get so gassy on a flight that it's like painful.
I don't get that at all.
Well,
it's because you're not old yet. When you get old, you will get there, I promise.
Yeah.
No!
I will not eat I won't fast the day before. It's just in the morning, I'm not going to eat. I won't drink alcohol at the airport anymore. No coffee with milk or anything. Black coffee is fine. I'll have electrolytes, but I will not eat while I'm traveling.
That's insane. Dude,
I fast all the time anyway. So
I eat at the airport all the time.
There's nothing worse than people who bring coffee on an airplane.
Oh no!
Something about the coffee on an airplane. Like Bree, like some guy brought his coffee on an airplane. It's the only time I've seen Bree throw up on an airplane.
Oh man!
Just because he was farting up a what?
No, it's just the smell of coffee. Like coffee's just got that like strong smell, and you're already in this like contained environment, and the way the pressure changes, and your stomach's already fucked up. Just like that fucking harsh ass smell of coffee on an airplane. Just fucking makes me
so.
I've never heard this.
Funny. That's so like it's not funny that Bree threw up like because that sucks.
No, that's very funny.
But it's so funny. The last time I flew, I grabbed my vanilla sweet cream cold brew and hopped on that airplane, and that was like my drink.
Well, cold brew you can't smell. That cold brew is different.
That's true. You're talking about like a hot coffee.
I'm talking about hot ass coffee, bro.
Well, so what about when like the flight attendants brew hot coffee? Can't stand it.
Yeah, but they're only giving you like a fucking shot. Like that's not even that bad. I'm talking about homeboy who brings like his whole ass like
his venti
fucking 20-ounce fucking coffee.
Venti Americano.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just reeking of espresso.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. And you gotta sit there and like, smell it the whole ass time.
Yeah, I typically stick with iced coffees.
Oh.
So.
I've never heard this. I love this coffee.
I'm a big airport pooper.
Weird.
Yeah, gotta poop at the airport.
Love it.
Weird. All right. My turn.
You're weird.
To take the weirdness out of all of this. So, before I write this down, I will say I any public pooping is an absolute no-go for me. I don't know what it is. I have a lot of shame about it. I don't know why. I don't know. I know it's fine. I listen to other people blow their ass out and I'm like, nice, good for you. Like, I'm not judging them, but for some reason, I'm just a meek little mouse and I don't want anyone to hear my pooping. And so I avoid public pooping at any cost possible. I hate it. It's just, I don't like it. I don't know why. I'm weird. But there used to be a private bathroom at our work for some reason in the kitchen. So there was, there's public bathrooms, there's a men's and a women's, whatever. Those are what it is what it is. And then we had this bathroom in the kitchen that was just a single occupancy bathroom. And so that used to be my go-to work pooping spot because I could just shit my ass out in private and like not have anybody in the stall next to me. I don't know why that matters so much. So I would just say the kitchen bathroom at 1/16th. At the 1/16th.
Yeah, I think you and Andy used to take poopers back there because one time I started taking a poop back there and Andy was like, "Get out of my toilet."
Yeah. I'll add the rest in peace there because we had they remodeled the building and took the bathroom out of the kitchen, which for sanitary purposes, that makes sense. I don't know why there was a bathroom in the kitchen.
Right. 100%.
But whatever.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this. So you judged me for not wanting to poop in my workplace where everything's going to be within earshot of other people. And then you're over here saying, I can't poop in public. I'm so shy and scared. But then you're going to judge the hell out of me for not pooping at my workplace in an 800 square foot building.
I guess I've never thought about the fact that, like, I've never worried about anybody in the hallway hearing me. I've only worried about the people in the stall next to me and the fact that you're just sitting in the bathroom alone and there's no one in there. And it's single occupancy and it's the women's bathroom. So like, you're not really going to have people trying to get in there. So
no, it's not that anyone's going to get in. I just think the sheer force of the smell of some of my poops is the second, even if I spray, then it'll just smell like fucking roses and shit if I open the door.
What's
and everyone's going to know. Everyone's going to know I just blew my whole ass out.
Just start spraying every time you go to the bathroom, and then they won't know. These guys
don't know me. These guys don't know me like you guys do, and they think I'm a nice lady. Little
so here's
do
the
they
trick.
know.
You spray the seam of the door right before you open it, and then the poop can't get out. There you go. Pro tip.
Easier said than done. I love the BX.
Or you get the ones that you put in the little drops in the toilet water.
The poopery.
Yeah. And so unless someone walks in there and like sticks their head in the toilet after you shit, they're not gonna, which some weird pervert might do. But
that's true. But like I said, my main concern is the loud farts. So we'll see.
So funny. Get a radio in there.
I can't. I literally
Disco ball?
can't.
Why?
I work in a secure environment. Unless I guess I could bring an AM radio in.
Yeah, that's what we have at work.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It's kind of funny. All right.
We'll see. Anyway. All right, Joe.
I love it. Stick to the BX, bro.
Thank you.
Get a porta potty.
Honestly, I would.
Outside. Just
outside. Like when I go camping, like there's just, even if there's like an outhouse there, if we don't usually go to like family campgrounds anymore. We usually just do Forest Service camp, like just camping on Forest Service roads, disbursement camping. And so, I have like a whole little shovel and we have our whole little kit. And man, there's just nothing better just being out in nature and just digging a hole like an animal and just pooping on, just like sitting there, just like listening to the stream, being one with nature,
having the wind kiss your asshole.
Poop outside.
So,
but the other thing is too.
Do you just squat it?
It depends. If there's nothing, if I don't see like a good log or anything around to like sit on, if I see like a log, I'll dig like a hole behind the log and then just like sort of do like that, like hamstrings on the log and like butt hanging over.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, I'll just squat it and it'll be and it's
pretty cool. Like
it's just nice to like poop like the animal that I am. And there is another thing. Bree and I were going to go on a vacation to Costa Rica a while back, and we were going to stay at this like tree house thing, where basically it's just 2 platforms and 2 different trees. And like the one platform had like the bed and like the kitchen area, and then there was like a fly net over it, and you walk across like a rope bridge thing to get over to like the bathroom toilet, where there's like a toilet on the like little platform, and you'd sit outside and like poop with like monkeys in the trees and shit like that. I was really excited about that, and then we ended up not taking that trip. But like anything like peeing outside, showering outside, like bathing in a river and pooping outside, like those things.
Pooping in a river,
like one with nature type things. Yeah.
Pooping in a river.
Oh yeah, peeing in the river is the best.
Oh, dude, it's so hard to poop in water. You got the pressure pushing back.
I don't think I've ever tried to poop in water.
You should.
No.
It kind of comes up and it like goes up your crack, especially if it's like a solid turd. It just like kisses your crack all the way up to your lower back and then floats away.
I'm avoid floaters.
What in the fuck? When have you pooped?
I just made that up.
Oh my god. I was like, when have you pooped in water?
I'm sure I have. I've heard it's difficult.
Oh my god, dude. I totally believed you.
I just wanted to paint that picture in your mind of the poop just kissing your crack all the way up and then floating away.
Ew. Kissing your crack is not the description I was looking for. But
put that on your bingo card.
Definitely painted the picture. Yikes. Yeah, pooping outside, it's not bad. I've only done it a handful of times. I had mosquitoes biting my ass when I was pooping outside though, so that was not enjoyable for me.
Mm.
That was rough. I didn't put DEET on my ass, and I should have.
I only got to DEET the hole.
DEET the hole. Oh, man.
DEET the hole. That's so good. Yeah. Okay. For my last one, I'm going to go with my grandma and grandpa's house in Oregon. And I'll tell you why. It's specifically the toilet in their master bathroom. And the way it's set up is like the toilet is in like its own area, and my grandma had a bidet like right across from the toilet. But from the toilet, you could look over like I'd say to your like 10 o'clock, and there's these beautiful big windows. And the toilet's on the 2nd floor, so like no one's like watching you poop. But like imagine this for a second. You're eating a lot of good food that your grandma's making, but it upsets your tummy a little bit. So you have diarrhea. You run upstairs to her bathroom, naturally, and you're looking out the window while you're having runny poops, and you see Mount Jefferson off in the distance. There's a breeze coming in because the windows are open, which is cooling you off while you're getting a little warm. You know what I mean? And it's like the perfect place to poop. Got a view of the mountains out the window. Nice setting. Nice bathroom. Oh, what a great place to take a crap.
That does sound pretty serene.
Yeah. Sounds like a good poop spot.
It's nice. And then I will say my honorable mention is Disney toilets. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Shitting on Mickey Mouse.
Nope. Shitting.
Is it like a Mickey Mouse face where you like open his mouth to fucking poop it?
Yeah.
Oof. No. It's just they keep their bathrooms very clean. Very clean. Other honorable mentions: Love's truck stops keep their bathrooms immaculate, and so does Buc-ee's. If you've ever been to a Buc-ee's, so those gas stations, I would shit in any day. I'd shower in those bathrooms,
In those toilets.
In those toilets, yeah.
Interesting.
All right, Marcus.
Quick question for you, Liv. Is your phone near your microphone by any chance?
No, why?
Okay, I was because some of the I'm still getting some interference every now and then. It's like a little clicking noise, and I was like, I wonder if it's like a phone interference thing. But it's fine.
No, not really.
All right.
Sorry.
My last one is how do I want to describe this? It's not because it's good, it's because it's so unique, and there's only a very small number of people in the world that know this experience. And you kind of get used to it, and it's kind of like a workout. It's kind of like shitting in a sauna, and you get really sweaty, and it's just an experience. So I'm going to say the hot Cadillac.
Ew.
For those that don't know what a hot Cadillac is, so
Stop.
At these deployed locations in the Middle East, so there's way worse situations like at the forward operating bases. They have it way worse, but like at the established larger bases, there's these big trailers that they haul onto base. They're like cargo containers, and they are just metal boxes. I guess depending on what base you go to and what country, they spruce them up a bit. So they're, have like a nice-ish interior. But and they have like air conditioning. But every now and then the air conditioning goes out and you're just sitting in a hot metal box and fully clothed trying to push your poops out. And the inside of this metal box is a solid, 120 degrees. And you're fully clothed, working hard to push a poop out, and it's real smelly. And like I said, it's not a good experience, but it is a unique one. And
it's awful.
Yeah, I was debating on putting the porta pots in Afghanistan on this list for this reason, because like I feel like a sweaty poop comes out easier.
It's true. Like it's a little more slippery.
God.
Yeah, but like the Cadillacs, I would avoid the Cadillacs because everybody used the Cadillacs because they were quote unquote nicer, which ours in Afghanistan weren't air conditioned, so they were just as hot. You were just pooping with multiple people in the same box. So yeah. I would always use the porta pots out on the line because they were just as hot, but at least I got like 5 minutes to myself.
Yeah, you're only smelling your own.
It was
poop.
definitely like a sauna situation. Like I definitely lost weight.
You walk in there completely dry and you walk out just utterly soaked. Yeah,
just a workout.
It's an experience. Dude. And the smell can't be described.
The smell. So I think I lost like 10 or 15 pounds, like within the first 2 weeks of being deployed. Just because the food was making me shit like a goose. But like you guys said, I think I was working out while I was pooping, essentially.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think we just got used to it in Afghanistan because all the septic went into the poo pond, so the entire base just smelled like shit.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. There is the poo pond aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. And truthfully, I put it on here because there's no, home is the only place I like to poop. Hotels are okay. The kitchen bathroom that doesn't exist anymore was the closest you could get to home at work and alone. And outside of that, I'm just going to pick a unique one, which is the old good old hot Cadillac. Just roasted poop, slow roasted poop in the Middle East. Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Oh God, dude. Rough.
That's it, Joe.
All right. So my last one. This was the reason that I really thought of this. I thought of this being like the funny subject. Because I think people need to know about the public bathroom situation in London, England.
Oh my God.
It's immaculate. It's like so Bree and I went to a friend's wedding, destination wedding. They got like this whole complex in Barcelona. And so we were there for like 5 days. It was amazing. And then we planned to stop in England to see a friend of hers for a couple days on the way back. We got tickets for a soccer game. We were there for like 4 or 5 days. Well, my last day in Barcelona, I got a stomach virus that when I got to England had me shitting literally every 20 minutes.
Oh.
Every 20 minutes, whatever I'd put in my body had to come out. And so everywhere we went, I needed to be close to a bathroom. And so I got a proper tour of the public bathrooms in London, England. And let me tell you, whether or not we were in a nice restaurant or like the corner pub, every public bathroom it's not these stalls. Like every toilet has its own little room. Like you open a door like you're going into a closet, and it's a fully drywalled, like floor to ceiling, fully drywalled room with like toilet paper. It has like little potpourris in it that's fucking smell good. Always stocked with toilet papers, and just like this like little space just for you to do your business in public. And it's standard. And I get why like Europeans come to America and they're like, how come we can see everybody's feet and underwear of everybody in a public bathroom? They don't get it because all their public bathrooms are just like their own little rooms. And it was amazing. And I felt very fortunate that if I had to be sick with the situation, that it was in London, England, because we're fucking animals compared to these people, because they just, everything, like their public pooping situation is just like, it's immaculate.
See, and I thought you were going to say that they were terrible because I used a toilet, a loo, if you will, at the tube station, and I thought I was going to catch a virus from the toilet.
I don't think I used one in the tube.
Okay. I think it's just like a subway thing. So that's why I was like, oh my God, because I distinctly remember I was going to piss my pants and I was like, not the tube toilet. And it was rough. But like I said, maybe they hadn't cleaned it that day. I don't know. It was pretty rough though. But
I know
you do have your own stall, which is nice.
Well, stall. It's like a room. You have your own room.
Yeah.
It's
the
walking
same
into your own room.
Yeah, it's the same in Germany because like Eddie and I spent a decent chunk of time over there, and so similar in Germany, but probably not as clean as the London ones. The German ones were a little rough, and you had to pay to use the public bathroom.
You got to pay to use the ones in Germany. I do remember that. You do have to.
Yeah, you have to put like €1 in to take a whiz.
That's weird.
But they don't upkeep them at all. So like, I'm paying €1 to take a piss, but it's a terrible bathroom.
So do they just have like a crazy problem of people shitting in the streets? Because I would just shit in the streets.
I think so. Yeah, it smelled like it.
Just to like make a point.
Yeah, I don't know. Anywho,
it's not illegal to like pull over on the side of the road and like do what you got to do.
Drop.
I think if you're like downtown, like in like an area, I think it is. But
yeah, it's like public.
Like you could definitely pull over and have a piss in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
That's what I got to say about that.
I think that rounds out places to poop. I'd say we move on to franchise movies. Should we start with Joe or Marcus?
Did you start the first one?
I did, yeah.
Oh, we're just gonna roll. I'll start this one.
All right.
The first one. This one's easy for me. Number one's easy. They get hard after this one. Batman. What did I say? Batman with Christian Bale. That whole
Which one?
So, well, the franchise, right? So that's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and the one with Bane. I always forget what that one's called.
I thought we were doing franchise movies, not movie franchises.
Oh,
Like movies from a franchise.
I see. Okay. Well, perfect. That makes it easy because
And which one from? Okay, yeah,
Dark Knight.
that's a good choice.
Yeah, Dark Knight. It's a
Good
great one.
choice.
American classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so okay. I gotta look at my list a little bit because I misunderstood.
Movies that are part of a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Picking up what you're putting down now.
Yeah, Dark Knight,
Yeah,
good choice.
Yeah, nobody will ever be. Yeah, Heath Ledger ruined it for everybody. Nobody will ever be able to play Joker again.
I know.
Yeah,
Like, it was just
joke.
the perfect Joker. I never really liked. I wasn't a big fan of. I like Christian Bale. So for me, the Christian Bale character as Bruce Wayne, his Bruce Wayne was probably the best Bruce Wayne, but one of the worst Batmans. I just couldn't get over like what he was doing with his mouth. Like,
Yeah.
I can get over the
Where
voice,
is he?
but why he has to be in puffied? I don't know why he had to be in like puckered kissy face the entire time.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that part.
I agree.
That bothered me. But the rest of it, visually, it's a perfect movie. It's Christopher Nolan. He can do no wrong.
So that's what I was gonna say. I mean, that's what makes it. You have both Christopher Nolan and oh man, what's the composer's name? I just went to his concert.
John
What the heck?
Williams.
No,
No, it's that Asian
I can't
guy.
remember who it
nope.
is.
It's the he's
Hang on.
German,
I'm
like Austrian
Googling.
dude. Oh, I just went to his concert.
Hang on.
You're googling his
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer. Yeah. Oh,
That was
just
fun to me.
it's just perfect. The cinematography, perfect. The music, unbelievable. By the way, if you guys ever have the chance to go see Hans Zimmer live, do it. It's the craziest experience you'll ever have in your life.
I was a whopping 10 years old when The Dark Knight came out. And I remember I think I saw it when I was 10. And
10?
it's a heavy subject matter for a 10-year-old.
It's true.
But I've watched it since I've been older. And like, yeah, great movie. Good choice.
All right, that's it. That's all I got to say about it.
All right. I'm starting off with Jurassic Park.
The OG.
I think Dark Knight could have been here for me just because it is so good. But I'm going Jurassic Park because it's my earliest movie going memory, like my earliest movie going experience that I can was really memorable for me because my mom was a big Michael Crichton fan, and when they were making Jurassic Parks, it was like the big deal. So we had to go to the Uptown Theater in DC, which back in this day, like IMAX movies, like the big screen movies, were only in like the Science Center, and the IMAX was only used for documentaries and stuff. So if you wanted to see the big movie, you had to go to the single movie theater, not the multiplex, and you had to go to the Uptown Theater in DC. And I just remember being amazed by how big this freaking screen was, and like it was like sores all up in your face, and it was it's one of my earliest movie going experience. First time like just having your mind blown at the movies. Score is perfect, casting's perfect, animatronics. I miss the days of like more animatronics and less CGI and computerism. Even though the CGI is to a point now where it looks like animatronics a lot of the time, but Jurassic Park can't miss.
Yeah, you're saying the OG one, right? The original.
Yeah, OG Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah. I also just wrote it down on my list. 100%. It was on my list regardless. It wasn't going to be my numero uno, but since you talked about it, I'm just going to piggyback off of what you were saying. But yeah, I don't know. Like this movie just has such like nostalgia for me, and I'm a sucker for like movies that give me that like nostalgic feel. Um, yeah, I remember watching Jurassic Park as a kid and being like, this movie's amazing. I wish dinosaurs were real. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I love Jurassic Park. We actually just watched it not too long ago again, and I was like, God, dude, what a
It holds up.
great movie. Oh, it totally holds up. 100%.
Holds up is a great movie.
Yeah, 100%.
My list. I also gotta say my lists are more in like a 4-1 or in like a 4-1 order, not a 1-4.
Yeah. Jurassic Park. Okay,
Yes,
Marcus, your turn.
yes. Yeah, also great score.
Yep.
I think next one is gonna be Avengers: Infinity War.
Interesting.
I liked it better than Endgame. I mean, Endgame was good. I didn't love Endgame. Infinity War was way better.
So is that your pick?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Out of the Avenger movies, yeah.
What about Marvel movies?
Yeah, I think
I'm just curious.
I think I think I would stick with Infinity War as being the best Marvel movie. Change my mind. What's your suggestion?
I don't know. I just have I don't know. It's not a bad movie at all.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I like all the I like all the Marvel movies. I'm not going to say anything bad about any of them. The thing is, they are to me also all very formulaic in a way that I don't think any of them really stand out. I do like Infinity War. I love Infinity War. I definitely, and I agree with you. I think Infinity War was better than Endgame because I just didn't like. I didn't like the time travel stuff. I don't like when movies just sort of resolve themselves with time travel. Just to like, it felt cheap to me. It felt like a cheap way to resolve that issue. So that's why I didn't love it. I love the Thor and Rocket Raccoon storyline in Infinity War was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I loved Infinity War. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, so I feel like it just had the best kind of overall of all of them. Because Endgame, I feel like Endgame just, like you said, it was just formulaic. You kind of saw what was coming. And Infinity War just was kind of nonstop action. It was character building. The cliffhanger was, you were hooked. You were so pumped and excited for the next movie. So maybe maybe a problem with Endgame was that you knew it was over. So
yeah,
it's like the end of an era, and you kind of feel bad afterwards because now it's over. So maybe that's a part of it. But
I will say with Endgame though, I love Fat Thor. Fat Thor is one of my favorite characters.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the idea that the reason Chris Hemsworth wanted to do Fat Thor was to sort of set an example for soldiers with PTSD, soldiers coming back from war with PTSD, and showing that like just because you've been through this traumatic experience, like you're still a hero and you still matter and you still make a difference. Like that was his whole like he's talked about it. That was his whole motivation behind Fat Thor, not just to be like this funny character, but to show that this, like he's this like big bad superhero, but he also went through this really traumatic experience of where he lost half of his friends because of it, and because he didn't hit him in the head, like it was his fault, and that like and how much that really weighs on a person, how that can weigh on a person, whether they're the mighty Thor or whoever, and how you can still bounce back from that.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty wholesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Doodad.
I didn't
But that's
know
kind of
that
all
actually.
I liked about it. Yeah, that's kind of all I liked about Endgame. But yeah, Infinity War, it's a great movie.
Absolutely.
It is a good movie.
All right, is that my turn?
Your turn.
Okay. Man of Steel, I think, for me, is the best comic book movie of all time. And I'm not even a big Superman guy. I don't like. I was never a Superman guy as a kid. I just thought he was too easy. He's just more powerful than everybody. But the way Zack Snyder did Man of Steel and Superman and Man of Steel, start to finish, the graphics, everything about it, taking the symbol of hope that Superman's supposed to be and showing that he can only be destroyed by fear. And it was, people's fear, it was Zod's fear, and, playing with that juxtaposition of hope versus fear all through that entire series, but especially in Man of Steel for me is one of the best comic book movie of all time for me. And that's why it's going on it's one of my favorite movies and definitely my favorite comic book movie.
And Henry Cavill, hubba.
That's what I was going to
Henry
say.
Cavill,
Or you just have a crush.
Literally.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's why I like it.
Who doesn't?
Did you
Just
listen
kidding.
to the episode of the hottest actors, Hollywood stars or whatever list?
Yeah, I think I did.
He was on both
Henry
of our list.
Cavill. Boing.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll get a man boner. I actually really liked him. Did you see the Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
No, I have not
That's his
seen
best
that.
movie. Oh, you gotta see The Man from U.N.C.L.E. That's his best movie.
I don't think I've
Really?
seen it either.
I'll have to watch it.
Gotta
Ooh, he
watch
looks
Man
like
from
a snack just from the Google search.
Oh yeah, dude, it's the most stylish movie in the history. It's The Man from
Yeah. I like the suit.
Das
Nice.
Suit.
Heck yeah. I forgot about Man of Steel, honestly. Pretty good.
Yeah, you forget about it, and then you just go back and watch it. It's just a perfect comic book. And then Michael Shannon as Zod was just perfect casting. He's so fucking good. Like Michael Shannon, anything.
The first
Yeah.
Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot was pretty good. So obviously it's not the first Wonder Woman, but of the new ones, that one was pretty good too.
Like that one, but then the second one was 1884 was so bad. Or 1984, whatever
Oh,
it was.
yeah,
It was just so
terrible.
bad. It kind of ruined it.
She's not a good actor or actress.
She's so bad. She's such a bad actress.
But in the first one, she just runs around and her legs are just all over the place. And you're like, I love this movie.
Oh yeah, especially when she goes through her fight scenes and they do like those fucking like that
Yeah.
whole like whenever
Perfect.
she starts going at it, it was bad. It was badass.
Yeah. Yeah. Boing, as Liv said.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. For my next one, this may be controversial. I'm going episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
Why is that controversial?
I don't know,
Yeah,
because it's not
It's one of my least
everyone's.
favorite.
Yeah, see, it's not everyone's favorite Star Wars movie. Also probably unpopular opinion. Rogue One, I thought was a good movie.
It's the only good one out of the new ones.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Out of the newer ones, yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I just have this soft spot for episode 5, but I do. I think like I've always loved Yoda, and so like this is
Yeah,
where he gets
I
like
was about to say, Yoda's the
introduced.
only good-
Yeah, and I don't know. I love Yoda. He's one of my like favorite out of like the Star Wars universe. Also Boba Fett. It's just I don't know. Like I just really like The Empire Strikes Back. I like the original 3, so episode 4, 5, and 6 that came out, 70s and 80s. I just really like those movies, even though a lot of people would be like, those ones really, but I'm like, those to me are like the OG. I mean, they are the OG. But I don't know. I just have this soft spot for Episode Strikes Back, mostly because of Yoda, but I think it's a good movie.
I mean, it's by most people, it's for a lot of people, it's their favorite one. It's one of my least favorites. I didn't like the whole. I still like if you go back and watch it, like the lightsaber fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. Like I understand that like it's a product of the time and everything, but my days, like if there's some remastering that needs to be done, it's that.
It's that 100%.
Like AI fixed that.
It's pretty rough.
And then. Yeah, and everybody just liked it because it was kind of the first movie, especially for the time, where it's like the bad guy won.
Right.
And, you know, I always liked Episode 6. I always like Return of the Jedi just because I'm an Ewok guy.
Oh yeah.
I thought the the lightsaber fight between Luke and Vader was better.
100%.
But, even as a kid, I was just never the biggest Star Wars guys because I didn't love those movies. But I'll talk more about Star Wars in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just love Episode 5.
I'm not going to hate it. It's not my most favorite of the Star Wars.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is stupid. They're all stupid. I can't stay awake through a single fucking movie. They're the most boring fucking movies on planet fucking.
Thank you. Joe McKeague, you are the first person in my life that if I'm about to say I've never seen all of the Lord of the Rings movies, will not shame me for it. My own husband is like, "Are you kidding me? I can't believe you haven't seen them." So I've watched The Hobbit. I haven't started watching Lord of the Rings, but I don't know. I'm just not into it. I can't get into it.
Have you ever?
And like,
do you
everyone
ever watch
judges
Clerks
me for
2?
it. No.
Ever watch Clerks 2? It's a Kevin Smith movie. But he does, the guy in that does this like great bit about Lord of the Rings where like, Lord of the Rings is stupid. It's just a bunch of people walking everywhere. Everybody's just walking. Even the trees fucking walk in that movie. And he's like, here's episode 1. He walks to the one side of the room. Episode 2, episode 2, he walks the other side of the room. Episode 3, walks it, throws a fucking ring and like pretends to throw a ring and then fucking walks away.
That's funny. I'll have to watch it. Anyway, Marcus, now that we've shit all over your choice.
Yeah, is it my turn now?
Yeah. Go ahead. Defend this fucking dog shit.
Yeah, now that you guys got all that off your chest. So I will say, I was totally in the boat that the movies were overrated and that they sucked. Well, I wouldn't say that they sucked. I thought they were overrated. And I really wasn't that into them. And then I rewatched all of them like in the last year. And I don't know if it's like an age thing or what. But so my biggest gripe with them used to be that they were like really slow and just like, oh my God, get to the point. And then I don't know, I've just started to enjoy slower movies that have a lot of character building and all that. And I hadn't seen these movies in probably 10 years, and I rewatched them. And I gotta say, I loved all three. I didn't actually know which one to choose. I think Return of the King is my favorite, though. So might be worth rewatching if you haven't seen them in a while, because you may have done some.
I will rewatch every Star Wars movie I've ever seen 90 times before I waste my time watching fucking Lord of the Rings.
Well, this is America. You're allowed to feel that way. But I would say I was kind of in the same boat. I couldn't care less. And then I put in the work. I rewatched them, and I actually really, really enjoyed all three of them. And I'm shocked that this made my list. If you had talked to me a year ago and asked me this, and somebody put Lord of the Rings, I would have been like, oh God, you're one of, okay, cool. Cop out. Like, way to just say the thing that everybody else wants to say. Like, boo. But I watched them recently, and I don't know why. I just like, I get it now. Maybe it's just because I'm been so disappointed by like basically every single new movie that you go back and you watch this thing and you're like, holy shit. Now, I will say the second one, Two Towers, has a lot of really like lame, cheesy shit, and I'm glad they didn't do it in number 1 and 3, where like Legolas is freaking rides down the snout. Why can I think of the thing of the big ass elephant? And it's just like, oh God, stop. Please stop. But they didn't do that in the third one. And it has a much more like serious tone. I don't know. I would just say give it a chance. Because, and Liv, if you've seen did you enjoy the Hobbit movies at all?
They were okay. Like,
okay, because the Hobbit movies are okay at best. Lord of the Rings, whether you like Lord of the Rings or not, they are better than the Hobbit movies.
All right.
Like the story writing.
Huh? And the Hobbit comes after Lord of the Rings, right?
Before. The Hobbit is the story of Bilbo Baggins.
So is that the prequel to Lord of the Rings? Or I thought Lord of the Rings were prequel to Hobbit.
Hobbit is the prequel.
Prequel.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's all the stories of Bilbo with the ring and like how he got it and all that stuff. And then
I always liked the cartoons growing up, like the Hobbit cartoons.
I never saw those. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, the old 80s Hobbit cartoons with like the weird songs, but like they were all like drawn like super creepily. And I think I just like the artwork more than anything else.
I gotcha. Yeah. So
you gotta yeah.
Also, so I had to pull up IMDb and like look at franchise movies because I thought we were doing movie franchises. So I like had Lord of the Rings on here, and then I was like, wait, let me go, or like Avengers, like, okay, well, which one did I like, type of thing. So I was just like looking up the specific movies. The 3 Lord of the Rings movies are all 3 are rated as 10 out of 10. And the next highest number I've seen is 9. Oh no, Angels and Demons is 9.9. But that's it. The next one is 9. That's like The Incredibles, Book of Secrets from National Treasure. I don't know. I've never seen that one. The
Incredibles.
Yeah. Finding Nemo.
Classic.
Yeah. So 10 out of 10 is pretty legit.
A lot of people like the Lord of the Rings movies. I think they're the most boring movies in the history of movies.
For example, I just thought of this one, The Godfather. I used to think that was the stupidest movie of all time.
No.
And then, because it was boring and nothing happened, and it just talked. And then...
What are you talking about?
It's a boring... as a kid, it was the most boring movie of all time. And then I watched it probably like 2 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, this is a masterpiece. I don't know. Just like a change of mentality for me, I guess. I think that's why I like Lord of the Rings.
Godfellas is better than The Godfather. Changed my mind.
Goodfellas is better than Godfather. And you were right the first time. Godfather is what I watched. Godfather. I remember liking Godfather because I read the books as a kid because my dad had all the Mario Puzo books, and I read The Godfather and I liked it just because I was like in a very like gangsters are cool phase. And then I watched The Godfather as an adult. I'm like, God, this movie's fucking boring.
Like how long ago?
I like them.
An accent, like
I like them, but I like Goodfellas better.
Goodfellas is better.
When's the last time you watched The Godfather?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, I don't know, probably 10 years ago.
You should try it again.
It's not that I don't like it.
I'm talking to Joe.
Oh.
He may have become less hyperactive and more like chilled out, and he might like the slower paced movie. Maybe he still hates.
I just told you I liked him as a kid, but then I didn't like him once I was like in my 30s.
My bad. I thought you said
I liked him as a kid, and I like the books, but like the movie, just not great. Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1.
Fair enough.
Yeah, don't love. I'm also just not. I'm out of that gangster phase. Like I'm just not like a gangster movie person.
Yeah. You're in the Mohawks now.
Yeah, sexy stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, anyway, yeah.
All
Lord
right,
of the Rings, Return of the King. Your turn, Joe.
That rhymes.
Mhm.
Casino Royale, for my money, is one of the best action movies
Oh.
of all time. Just
Oh man.
just for some of the action, like just the way it opens up with that like parkour running sequence. You know, they broke a record at the time for like most flips of a car, and then just Daniel Craig was awesome. You know, Ava Green was a revelation. Start to finish, Casino Royale is one of the best action movies of all time.
How
in
did
my
I
opinion.
forget about the Bond franchise? That's terrible.
wild.
That's blasphemy.
That is blasphemy.
Like the middle two weren't great either, like Skyfall and whatever the other one was. Like
That's
those were
crazy.
relatively good.
I
movies.
loved Skyfall.
No, didn't love
That-
them. I like the last one, No Time to Die. I thought was really good. Casino Royale is one of my favorites, but the middle two missed me.
Maybe it's because I don't care for gambling. I didn't really like Casino Royale. Like, it didn't really speak to me. Whereas for some reason Skyfall is I don't know how to choose between a few movies for the last one, and Skyfall is one of them. I love Skyfall. I think it's because it made me. Anyway, I'll talk about it on my turn.
Was it? Oh, okay. Was it? Which one's got Skyfall's got? That's the one with what's his face?
It's Daniel Craig.
And he's got blonde hair.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go to the old farmhouse, and then M dies.
Yeah.
And it's just very emotional. Maybe it's just because it was like a movie that made me emotional, and movies don't often make me emotional. So that's why I love that movie. Also, the actress, whatever her Judy something, whatever her name is.
And Judy Dench?
Yeah, so she kind of, she looks more like my grandma, but she kind of looks like my mom as well. And so any movie where she gets hurt, it hurts me. So Interstellar as well. Well, it's not actually, she's not in that one. Never mind. But the lady at the end when the daughter is on her deathbed, I feel like that's what my mom's gonna look. It's gonna be like her doppelganger. So hits me different. It's weird. And then it makes me think about my mom dying, and then I get really upset. And yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, Olivia, your turn.
Yes. I'm trying to decide which one to do next. I'm gonna go with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
See, this is like Lord of the Rings for me, dude.
You don't like Indiana Jones?
Oh, so cheesy. Vomit, dude.
Well, okay.
But go ahead. I won't interrupt you for 10 minutes at the start.
No, it's fine. It's fine if you think sorry. I don't really care if you disagree. I don't again, I think this movie is just very nostalgic for me. I remember watching it as a kid and I thought it was just awesome. Now, yeah, watching it as an adult, I mean, this movie was made in what? Let me Google. 1981. Yeah, I don't know. I like Raiders of the Lost Ark and I like the Indiana Jones movies. There's quite a few of them, but I don't know. I found them always super entertaining.
Maybe I need to rewatch.
I like Indiana Jones. I didn't like Raiders because I thought the woman was really annoying through the whole movie. She's just shrieky.
Yeah.
And she's just a lot the whole time. But I still thought it was okay until what ruined it for me, honestly, was Big Bang Theory, where they pointed out that fucking Indiana Jones really plays no point in the plot of the movie. Whether or not he's in it, it turns out the same way.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, for sure. So which of the Indiana Jones you like? Are you a Temple of Doom kind of guy?
Last Crusade almost made the list.
Last Crusade's great. Oh man,
I love it. I mean, him and Sean Connery working together.
Yeah, Last Crusade is great. Oh man, I might want to change. No,
honestly, the Shia LaBeouf one, aside from the ending, which the ending was Absolutely horrible. It was one of the worst
Yeah.
endings in movie fucking history. The rest of
Yeah.
that movie is solid. The rest of that movie is
Yeah.
solid. And the
I
last
will
one
s-
was pretty solid too.
I will say too, like the amount of time that it took them to pump out these Indiana Jones movies is insane. It was like what, like 10 years or something. They pumped out like 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because like they were that like popular and everyone loved them. Oh, I kind of want to change The Last Crusade now. Oh, I think I'm gonna stick with Raiders of the Lost Ark just because it's like the OG and again the nostalgia factor. But Last Crusade is a close second. I
I did always have a
I
thing for like the mythology, like Christian mythology,
yeah,
like the Lost Ark and the Holy Grail and all those like sort
right,
of
right.
like real like I like movies that like take these real mythological things and like put movies around them, like the Dan Brown movies. Love those ones.
Yeah,
So I always had like a thing for those movies just because of that reason too.
yeah. I'm gonna stick with Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I like the Indiana Jones franchise. What are your qualms with it, Marcus? Besides boring and cheesy.
I don't know that they're boring. I just it it's kind of just like the comedy action doesn't do anything for me. So the only other like movie series I can really speak to where, well, I guess that's kind of like the Avengers, but they do it really well. Um so my stepdad is a big time James Bond fan, and to the
Yeah.
point like until, oh man, I guess it kind of ended with Daniel Craig. Like he wasn't a big fan of Daniel Craig, but we had every single James Bond movie on VHS. And so just like grew up watching all the Bond movies and stuff. So then, the sequence went from Sean Connery was kind of there was a little bit of like funniness, but it wasn't like a comedy movie when he was James Bond. And then Roger Moore came in and he turned the entire James Bond franchise like into a comedy for like 15 years. And I don't know, I just the comedy action movie doesn't do anything for me. And that's kind of, it's like the goofy action. It's trying to be serious but also lighthearted. I like more serious movies, and so it never really did anything for me. But I'll tell you what, when you watch Lord of the Rings, I'll watch I just forgot the
Indiana
name of it.
Jones.
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. You're not gonna have to watch Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Oh, goody. I think you would, if you enjoyed the Hobbit movies at all, you will really enjoy Lord of the Rings. That's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't even try to watch the Hobbit movies. I watched the Hobbit cartoon from like the 80s. But I didn't even try like the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
I didn't even try. Didn't even waste my
I
time.
didn't love them. There was a couple of entertaining moments. I saw them in the movie theaters and they were fun. I've never watched them a second time, so didn't really speak to me. Anyway.
Yeah, your turn.
My turn. Okay, so this last one, this is like a 4-way tie, and it's a tough one. Let's hear what you guys have to say. So I already said Skyfall, which I know Joe disagrees with, but I love Skyfall. I don't know why. It's just I will say I find the villain is annoying, and the movie is a 10 out of 10 until the helicopter like crashes outside the house, the farmhouse, and then they have their stupid little battle, and it gets really stupid for about 30 minutes when they're fighting inside the house until they go to the church and M dies. Like then it gets good again, not because of M dies. That was just like a really emotional part. I don't know why. I grew up watching James Bond, and M is, like a significant character, so it was just sad to see her die. So between Skyfall, the first Bourne Identity movie, which is fantastic in my opinion, the first
Jesus
Pirates
Christ,
movie,
it's Jason Bourne.
exactly.
Oh, the Black Pearl.
Oh, Pirates.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Black Pearl's a great movie.
Yep. And here's one out of left field that no one's thought of. And I don't like horror movies, but the first Saw movie, insane. The twist at the end is like, on a scale of 1 to Saw, is how I rate twists in movies, because holy shit. Do you guys remember what it was?
No, and I'm not gonna. I don't watch. I don't really watch horror movies, especially like Saw.
Same.
I think there was a part where like she had to put her hand in like a bucket of needles, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, so that's like
Hard
later
times.
on. The first one it's horror. There's some gore, but it's way mellower, because as soon as that one took off, they had to one up the first one. So the second one had to one up the first one. The third one had to one up the second one. It just kept going, and it got more and more and more crazy. The first one, holy shit! Like I was gonna talk about what the ending is, but if you guys haven't seen it, you should watch.
You can talk about.
I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah,
It's
I don't
more
like
of a
scary
thrill.
movies.
It's not really scary. It's a thriller with some gore. It's actually like the movie actually has a plot, and it's interesting, and it's a good story. It's not just like there's no like. It's not like a jump scare.
The gore
type of
is what
movie.
turns me off of horror movies, though. It's like it's not like the getting scared part. It is the gore part that I don't do in horror movies.
I would highly suggest just that they get stupid after the first one. I will like they have all the face mechanisms, and their face just like explodes, and they show it, and you're like, oh cool, you did it for the shock factor. Nice. The first one is not like that. Like there is some gore, but they don't like. It's more insinuated. So like the guy is chained to a bathtub, and there's a saw, and it's like, okay, you have to saw your hand off, but it's not a close-up scene of him like sawing his hand off type of situation, whereas later on that's exactly what it is. So the first one is much more like connect the dots, what happened, and it's like the guy yelling, but it's like the camera is like outside the room, and you're like, holy shit, that guy just cut his hand off. It doesn't really show that much. And then the ending is the craziest twist in any fucking movie ever, and it doesn't even come close. Maybe it's because I was just dumb at that age and didn't see it coming. Maybe at an older age I would have seen it coming, but I did not see it coming. Either way, I think realistically it's between Pirates and Saw.
Pirates, 100%.
Oh, I don't know.
Curse of the Black Pearl, dude. Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
That's another boing.
Yeah.
For both of them.
For both of them.
I was thinking about because I love all the Pirates movies, but again,
Same.
like none of them really stand out. I think if we were doing movie franchises, I think the Pirates would have made it
Franchise,
into like whole franchises. But just like one movie that stands out, I would like I don't know any of them really stand out as better than the others.
I'm gonna go with Saw. Unpopular. Actually, so I would say I might act. No, I'll stick with this. I was thinking about taking Avengers out because I do like the movie, but it's not. I think I might like Pirates more than I like Avengers.
I love Curse of the Black Pearl.
Like Avengers, if you take everything, cinematography, the number of actors and story, like I think it is a more wholesome, not wholesome as a holistically, it's just 10 in everything. The acting, the cinematography, the music, the story, everything is flawless. In my opinion. So I think I'll leave it. I think Avengers and Pirates, I think that's a close tie. But unpopular out of left field, I'm going to go with Saw 1. Because, dude, you just got to watch it. to know what I'm talking
I can't
about.
argue with that. Like, I can't argue with like people who
I've
like
never
if you
seen
like,
it.
like horror movies and stuff like that. But
I
like, just
fucking
don't.
hate horror
Some of the
movies.
some of the newer horror movies, like horror movies and quotations, which I don't really count as horror movies, like Nope. I liked Nope, but I didn't see that really. So I thought that was more of a monster movie, or like the new It movie, the one with like Bill Hader in them. I liked that one, but
I
that
saw that
also
one.
seemed like more of a monster movie than an actual horror movie. And so like I like those things, but yeah, some of them things like the Saws, like I can't get myself to watch those.
Like I said, skip all of them except the first one. The first one is legitimate.
All right, maybe.
Yeah,
Dude,
we'll
sometimes
see.
Bree wants to watch horror movies sometimes like that. And I was like,
Yeah, like on
She wants
Rotten
to watch
Tomatoes,
horror
it has
movies.
an 81%.
I don't trust
on
Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten
don't really-
Tomatoes gave 50% to fucking Captain America: Brave New World, and they've lost all my respect.
Ah,
Fair enough. Oh, actually, never mind. That's the whatever. I thought the first one was great, and I hate. It's my least favorite genre of movies is horror by far. If I never saw another horror movie, I'd be chilling. I would prefer that. Just not into it. Saw was great. All right, your turn.
All right. My last one, Rogue One.
yes.
So I was not a Star Wars fan until Rogue One. Like as a kid, like I liked Empire Strikes Back. I didn't like any of the prequels, hated all the prequels.
Yeah.
I liked Star Wars, but I wasn't like the biggest fan. I was deployed to Turkey, and my friend who now lives in California is actually a cameraman. He was a big Star Wars fan, and Rogue One was coming out, and we got a special release, an early release of Rogue One because we were deployed, and the VA people got it for us or something. And so they weren't even showing it at the movie theater on base. They showed it at like the full base theater on like the big ass screen. And
Yeah.
I went to that movie and absolutely my mind was blown. Like just visually, it's just a beautiful movie. The acting, like one of the things that always bothered me with Star Wars was like how like revered like the Jedi were, and like they're like, oh, they're so courageous. I'm like, yeah, it's real fucking easy to be courageous when you're a fucking space wizard with a laser sword, okay? Like, and then Rogue One comes along, and it's like real people with real shit on the line, like putting it out there to like get the job done, and like they don't get no awards, like no one ever fucking talks about them, but
Yeah.
the war got won because of them. And that's when I really started to get into being a Star Wars fan was with the stories. And what I found about Star Wars, honestly, is that the problem that Star Wars has is the same thing that makes Star Wars great, is that the universe is so big. You have this huge universe, and these things take place over like so much time. So like I finally watched all of the Clone Wars animated series.
Oh, so
and
good.
I've always been against. I've always hated the prequels, but I finally watched the entire Clone Wars animated series, which correct, so good, and then went back and watched the prequels, and the prequels made perfect sense. And they were great movies. And I think Revenge of the Sith might be one of the best Star Wars movies. And then, like, even watching Rogue One, which I never liked the first Star Wars movie, I watched the first time I saw Rogue One, I went straight into we just went, like, straight back to the dorms and watched the original Star Wars, and it was so much better. And so the thing about, like, the sort of canon, episodes 1 through 9 are that there's just the universe is so big and there's so much getting added to it at once that all that needs to be fleshed out, whether it's in books or games or series or animated series or whatever. It needs to be fleshed out for it to make sense. So like even the sequel series, which don't seem great at the time, even the first one, The Force Awakens, after I read Shadow of the Sith, which like fleshes a lot of that stuff out, like that movie is already better to me. And that's the way George Lucas designed it. George Lucas always, when he first started Star Wars, he said, I'm not just making this to make like a line of movies. I'm creating a universe. I want, you're going to go back in time. You're going to go sideways in time. It's a storyteller's medium. It's all about telling good stories. And I think Rogue One's one of the best stories that's been told.
Totally agree. That's why I mentioned Rogue One earlier, because some people are like, blah, Rogue One. And I'm like, are you joking? Because what Marcus said it earlier, it's one of the best of the newer movies. And I totally agree. Like a Rogue One.
That's the thing. Like if I'm going
awesome.
to go back and like give something a second chance, like if I wanted to watch, like watching Lord of the Rings, I need new information to be added. Like I need new, like I watched the clone, like I never liked the prequels and I wasn't about to give them another chance until I watched Clone Wars. And then it's like, okay, now everything sort of fleshes out and it makes sense. Like,
yeah, the prequels still aren't my favorite, but it's okay.
I think I would hate the prequels 97% less if Jar Jar Binks was just deleted. Jar Jar Binks is my least favorite character of any movie or TV show ever. I refuse to watch episode 1, 2, and 3 because of Jar Jar Binks. I fucking can't do it. I've never wanted to wring somebody's neck and watch something die as much as I want to fucking watch that dumb creature. Just wow. I can't stand him. I know it's a lot of hate. Jesus. I don't even know why. I just literally. So I was as a kid, I was a Star Wars kid. Episode 4, 5, and 6. That was like my life. And I went to the opening night of episode 1, and like my mom took me, and I was so excited. I almost have to have my mom on the pod just to tell this story of how excited I was, because I can't tell it myself. I wasn't old enough to actually remember. It was so long ago. I don't really remember how excited I was, but what I do remember is fucking bawling my eyes out on the way out of the movie theater because I was so upset at what a piece of shit that movie was. And it was all, I think it was just my hate for Jar Jar Binks. Like he just ruined the movie.
That's so funny. Have either of you guys been on the Rise of the Resistance ride at Disney parks?
No, I was too busy vomiting.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, next time either one of you gets the chance to go to Disneyland or Disney World, Rise of the Resistance is probably one of the best like theme park attractions in the world.
I do want to go to Galaxy's Edge really bad.
Galaxy's Edge is pretty awesome. It's pretty freaking awesome. I really enjoy it, and you're like totally immersed. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. So if you love Star Wars, have an appreciation for Star Wars, what have you, like that ride is like unreal. It's
I wanted to stay at their Star Destroyer hotel.
I know, and then they shit canned it.
It's so fucking expensive to fucking stay in. Nobody was.
I know.
Nobody's
it's
gonna
stupid
pay
expensive.
Like, what are you, mad?
Yeah.
100%. Which has to be the fucking dopest place on earth to work.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No doubt.
All right.
The last thing I'll say about Star Wars before it goes to your turn. So if you're listening and you haven't watched the Clone Wars, the first season is a little clunky because they were just like figuring it out. But it gets so serious. And there's so much death and destruction in a cartoon. Like, I had to take breaks from the show, like month-long breaks, because I would get so frustrated with them, just like the amount of planets that were like blowing up and spaceships of like tens of thousands of people just exploding and just people dying. And I was like, dude, I need to take a break because this is so fucking violent. I don't know if you had the same experience, Joe. Like, It's heavy.
Oh, I mean, I went through it. Like, it took me a while to get through that, just because it's fucking 5 seasons of 22 episodes. It's so long, and like, there's so much fat to chew too. Like, there's a lot of episodes that just really have no purpose being there. They're just there for like comic relief sort of type episodes that were kind of
and that
goofy.
show needs it.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I mean, it gets deep. And I'll say, like, the last 4 episodes of the last season, the where the Ahsoka Tano episodes might be the best 2 hours of Star Wars there is. Like, it's so good, especially as an animated series. I like Rebels better. I thought Rebels is just sort of a more cohesive thing. I think it brings more to a different part. Oh, you haven't watched Rebels?
Dude,
if you like Clone Wars, you're gonna fucking love Rebels, especially if you like. Have you watched Ahsoka yet?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, you got to watch Rebels and then go into like Mandalorian and Ahsoka. Like,
Mandalorian.
I actually watched Rebels first before Clone Wars, and I liked Rebels so much. I was like, well, maybe I'm finally going to give Clone Wars a chance. And the first 2 seasons were a struggle to get through with Clone Wars, because it's definitely seemed like a kids show the first couple seasons, but then after that, it really sort of grows with the audience, I feel like, and it's got a lot to it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll have to watch this stuff. This household didn't allow Star Wars. We'll say that for a long time.
What?
Yeah.
What household?
This household was a no Star Wars household for a while.
I don't know who made that rule, but they'd be gone. No chance. I mean, to be fair, Bree's not a Star Wars fan, and I just wait for her to fall asleep, and then Star Wars goes on.
And then it's Star Wars time.
Yeah. The other day I thought she was going to be about to go to sleep, and so I was about to put Star Wars on. She was like, "Don't make me watch Star Wars." Like, God damn it! All right, fine.
Fine, go.
I was actually going to put Rogue One on, because I thought she does like Rogue One, and I thought she'd be okay with it. But then she was like, "Don't make me watch Star Wars." Like, God damn it! All right, fine.
It's too funny. Okay, Liv.
Okay, my last one. You guys are gonna roast me so hard for this.
Oh, I can't wait.
Shrek, the original Shrek.
God. I'm not gonna roast you for that at all. I'm
not gonna roast you. I love Shrek.
I love Shrek. The original. The second one is pretty entertaining, and I think out of the fucking 5 Shrek movies there are now, 1 and 2 are obviously the best, but the first Shrek, dude, I love Shrek so much.
I like the second one a little bit better. I think I like the second one a little bit better, but they're both great.
The second one is very entertaining. I love Fairy Godmother.
Have you seen
Prince
the clips? Have you seen the clips of Chris Farley voicing Shrek?
No. Was that
Chris Farley was
supposed to be him instead of Mike Myers?
Yeah, he was supposed to be the original Shrek, and then he died, and then they brought Mike Myers in.
Oh my god!
And they still have panels of him voicing.
How did I not know that?
Pretty good.
Are you even a Shrek fan?
Have to. Yeah, dude. I am. I kind of want to get the Shrek Crocs.
The Shrocks?
The Shrocks, dude. Yeah. Honorable mention for me, another kid movie. I love the Despicable Me movies.
Despicable Me are good. Honorable mention for me is Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh, Pitch Perfect 2 is great.
If we were doing full franchises, Pitch Perfect franchise would have been on there.
Pitch Perfect is pretty good.
Which is pretty good. By the way, I changed my 4th to Pirates, the Black Pearl.
No way! Chicken.
Yeah. Good. It's just a better movie overall. Saw is amazing. Okay, anyway. All right. Are we ready to move on to the advice?
Ready.
All right, Joe, you're going to kick us off on this. Yeah.
All right. I always have, and still do to an extent, have a problem with giving my 2 cents where it was never really asked for. So, and I still struggle. I have to stop if I hear people talking and stuff like that, I have to stop myself going, if they want your opinion, they'll fucking ask for it. And I've gotten myself into a lot of trouble and gotten a lot of people mad at me giving advice where it really wasn't asked for. So I would say it's okay to just shut the fuck up sometimes. It really,
you, me,
really
and every other man. Oh, what's that, Liv?
What? I didn't say shit.
You made a noise.
I was clearing my throat.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like I sometimes that applies to me too as a woman. So I wouldn't go as far to say it's a man thing, because I definitely have done that before.
Yeah, but to just always be like that, do you have to in most social circumstances to have to fight the urge to say something? I feel that.
Yeah.
And especially for like Joe is not he's not a conflict avoider, you know?
I'm not.
So I could see it getting, you say something and someone disagrees with you and suddenly, chairs are being thrown.
Yeah. It's got to become a whole big thing, and really, it didn't need to be. You could just shut the fuck up. And really, like, even if you're giving and most of the time, if you're giving advice and you weren't asked for it, even the advice that you give is either going to start shit or it's just going to be ignored anyways. Like, if they wanted to know what you thought, they'll fucking ask.
Yeah. Or sometimes it just starts an argument, and then or it's like someone has an opinion about something, you say your opinion just as like matter of fact, because you just disagree and you're not like trying to start an argument, and then they get defensive and then they argue with you and then you get defensive, so you argue, and then suddenly you're like, how the fuck did we get here? This is not what I intended. I was just trying to be a part of the conversation, and now we're fighting. Right. I don't know how this happened. Yeah. Yep. It's not even advice.
But
it's
the disclaimer is, if people get mad at you and they go, listen, you ask the question. If they don't ask, then you can't write it off.
Yeah, true.
True. Okay. My first one, don't work for the government. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, my first one, I'm going to go get a useful degree, Olivia.
Dang.
So I got my bachelor's in sports management because I had this big idea that I was going to go into the sports world and like either try to do like event planning or like be on a marketing team for, a professional team. I just had this big idea when I was finally narrowing down like the degree path that I wanted to go on. And now I have that degree, and now with all my work experience, it literally doesn't add up at all and it doesn't make sense. And so here I am doing this job that's like very niche, I guess, very like a very small percentage of people I feel like that have like this, not like comparatively like in the world, that have this knowledge and like experiences that like the three of us share, even like just being in the C2 world, which for those listening that don't know what C2 is, command and control. It's just like I've just narrowed myself into this very like military-esque career path that I ended up choosing. And now like when I attach my degree to a resume, it's like, oh, she has a degree in sports management. Fucking cool, I guess, basically. So I don't know, maybe this is the chance to try and explore, if I do lose my job, to explore, degrees in sports, or not a degree, to explore jobs in sports management. But my advice to my younger self would be like, even if it's fucking business, dude, just like get something that's like a little bit more marketable than sports management. It was fun getting the degree, though. I really enjoyed going through all the.
But even then, like, that's sort of the problem with the military, is that there's nothing that sort of, you can get a degree, but people don't care about degrees. Like you have to get the degree. The degree like just checks a box, where you have to have the experience now.
Exactly.
And so like that's the problem I'm having, is that like everybody's got the experience, especially with people getting, laid off in the environmental sector from government jobs. The jobs that are open are getting highly qualified people that have been doing stuff in the environmental sector for a very long time.
Right.
And civilians don't see, like, they, your recruiter sold you on this, oh, civilians will respect your, military work ethic and all these like things about, being military that, employers want. That might have been the case in like the fucking 70s or 80s or some shit like that. Today they do not care. Like, you need experience like in the sector, and if you don't have it, like, and if you're close enough to get like teaching degree or teaching licenses and get teaching experience, like, that's a great thing to get into. Like, I think, the most useful thing you can do with like a lot of your military experiences is mentor young people with that. So, that's something
100%. 100%. And like, to get to teach in Texas, I don't necessarily have to have a degree in what I want to teach. I just have to go through the courses to teach that subject, essentially, which I would never fucking teach math ever in my life, so I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, like, I totally agree with you though, like, just the military, like, you think you're being set up for success, and like, in some ways you are, but in other ways, like, now, like, I might have to go into like the private sector or do something like completely different and like kind of like take this 180 turn from what I thought I was going to be doing with my life. And yeah, now it's like, well, shit, I'm probably like, 4 or 5 years behind other people my age who have now had 4 or 5 years of like work experience. And like, now all I have is my military experience and then like a bachelor's degree in sports management that I've never done anything with. So yeah, I would tell myself to go on a different degree path.
You're not 20 years behind everybody, so
I guess
you got that going for you.
It's never too late to start, though.
Yeah, I know, and that's where I'm trying to stay positive about it, and hopefully
absolutely,
it'll, take me somewhere I want to go. But yeah, like, once you're in the system, they want you to stay, and like, everybody wants you to stay in the system. The military wants you to stay in the system. All the jobs and everything else around it, everybody wants you to stay in the system, and it is hard. It's hard and it's scary to transition, for sure.
100%.
I will say, and I've had this conversation with a bunch of people about how, we work the C2 command and control field, though not directly relatable to anything. If you're able to figure out a creative way to write at its core, right? Okay, so you're a WD or you're an AST or whatever. Those are just jobs that we have. For those that don't know what they are, it doesn't really matter because that's not the point. Like, instead of saying I was this X thing and I talked to airplanes, like, boil it down. What were you actually doing? You're managing a high stress situation where you're having to make decisions based off of directives and vision, aka commander's intent, and like all this. So if you can boil it down to its core level, it's you were a decision maker in life and death situations where death lived 5 seconds before or after you were on a radio, like that kind of situation. And you did it for X amount of time. But I mean, you're not going to, I guess, time, you did it for years, but being able to boil it down and relate it, it's going to relate to every single job in a different way. So it's kind of tough because your resume will have to change so much for every job because you have to like figure out how to
tailor it. Yeah.
Tailor
100%.
your.
Yeah, I had my dad redo my resume for me, so that's more like a functional resume, and that's like basically what we did was like take these jobs and boil them down into like project management type.
Right, 100%.
And like high stress situations where you're handling like 50 pieces of information at once. and you're laying them down accurately as fast as you can, which is way faster than anybody else can, and like being kind of chill about it and like just sipping your coffee and just kind of having a day.
Right.
And if you're able to, which like if you're getting into sports management and stuff, I don't know, really any management, that's all it is. Just
Yeah, and especially if you go into teaching too, like that might even be a useful degree if you're in like teaching and you want to get into like high school sports, like starting
coaching.
there. Right, getting into coaching or
Yeah.
getting into sports media type things like that. Like if you like teaching is a good, I feel like sort of into the sports world.
yeah.
100%. Yeah, no, there's definitely like other avenues that could open up. And so I shouldn't dog on the sports management degree, I guess, too much. But at the same time, like, damn it, Olivia, like if you would have just done like fucking business or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
'cause I mean,
but again,
if you'd have
that's what
done
everyone
business or
else
something,
does.
Yeah, but you'd end up as like fucking district manager at Target or something like that. Which, not dogging on the district manager at Target, it's honest work, but like you're gonna be bored sitting in an office and shit like that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas, like sports management, you're in a situation where you're making serious decisions for millions of dollars of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're
Sometimes.
you're juggling multiple projects all at once, and like you have to put one down and pick up the other, and then put that one down 30 minutes later and work on this other one, and then have to remember where you were on the first one to just pick it up there, and like you're juggling constantly. That's like an irreplaceable skill, and if you can figure out how to make that obvious that you have that skill on a resume, almost any job is going to hire that kind of stuff.
It'll help you if like experientially the people that you're going up against are on like that same plane. Like it's something that might give you a leg up on somebody, but at the end of the day, if you don't have like they want, X number of years experience doing this stuff in the field that we're doing. Like
Yeah.
Especially for yours.
Right. It's not going to override, sort of like it doesn't like replace things. Like there's some sectors where it would, and like the, in like security sectors, or if you're going for like a cop job or something like that. Yes, that like it applies, but if you're trying to like sort of get out of the realm and you're trying to get into sports, you're trying to get into whatever, or trying to get into, environmental field or whatever, like it can be a tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
100%.
All right.
Okay, Marcus.
Looking at my microphone cord right now, and I just realized that my cat has been chewing on the cord to my microphone.
Oh.
And neither of these animals destroy the house or anything, except the cat just decided that it's time to gnaw on this cord. I'm surprised my microphone still works. Anyway, my first advice to myself, and this is not advice to anybody else, this is specifically to myself because I now know myself. I should not have gone to college right after high school. I should have probably joined active duty and just had some discipline instilled in me, because I just went to school and I fucked off and I hated it and didn't work hard, and now I'm almost 34 years old and I still don't have my degree, and I started when I was 18, so I'm an idiot. And I should have just, I did end up leaving school eventually, so I figured it out in my junior year that like I can't, my ADHD at this point in life is way too bad, and I just don't care, and I need to go out in the world and do other stuff first. And I think I would have been able to, like, I don't know, go active duty and then have my college paid for, go to college later on when I was a little bit more mature and actually focus on it instead of just partying and being a dumbass. Yeah. and wasting.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely what I would. I mean, that's why I went active duty straight out of high school, because I just knew I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I hated school. Like I was terrible. I seed and deed my way through high school, and that was just because I didn't do any homework, and then I just like did good on tests, and I hated school. I wasn't good at it. I didn't like listening to people. I didn't know how to learn. I didn't have the discipline for it. I had a lot of personal issues. I had low self-esteem and depression and stuff like that. So, I've said for a long time, I think if I hadn't joined the military, I'm pretty sure I'd have committed suicide. I've never, I honestly believe that, because I still have bouts with depression, and I just know that like my self-worth is rooted in the things I've done, as the things that I've done in the military, and the positive things that I think I've done, and the fact that I know that I'm smart, and I know that I'm good at things, and I know that I can do anything anybody else can do, and that's sort of where my self-worth is, rooted in. And I don't think I'd have gotten that without the military, and without that, I think I'd have probably given into something. So if I'd gone to college ASAP, I honestly don't know what I'd have. I don't think I'd be here.
Yeah, best case scenario, you'd be hella druggy now or something, a really bad drinking problem or something.
I don't think I'd be doing drugs. Drugs have always. I'd just be doing stuff. I'm just not. I'd probably be just living at home.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I'd just be living at home, and my parents would hate me, and I'd just be depressed and shitty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably drink a lot. I probably would drink a lot.
Olivia, I see your microphone activating, but there's no sound coming out of it.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
I'm listening. So I don't know what that is.
Okay, gotcha. No worries. Yeah, I mean, I wish. Lucky you. Like, you had the wherewithal to know yourself well enough that school wasn't for you. I wouldn't say I was bad at school in high school. I had pretty good grades in high school, and it was like not a problem at all. So I was like, well, whatever, I'll go to college. I'll skate through. No biggie. It's fine. And then I got there, and I just didn't want to do any of it. The only reason, I don't think I would have stayed in school as long as I did. So I originally went to college just for Air Force ROTC. That was the only reason that I went to school. And then that didn't work out. And after that is when it that was the thing that was keeping me disciplined and like made me care about my grades. And as soon as that didn't work out, it's like all my grades tanked, and I just didn't give a shit. I started partying and was like, this is stupid. I don't care about any of these classes. I don't care about my degree. This is idiotic. Why am I here? And I kept it up for too long, and I should have just left right away. And the other thing is, I didn't join active duty. So after that didn't work out, I ended up joining the Guard, which is a good thing now. But my reason for joining the Guard was because my mom and we immigrated here, and it was just her and I, and she left 2 other kids and her entire family back in Finland and Sweden. And I was like, I don't really want to just like enlist in active duty, because then my mom will have nobody left, and that felt wrong. So I was like too worried about her instead of my own future. So I was like, whatever, I'll join the Guard and I'll stay here, which, it's worked out really well, but part of me thinks that I should have just gone active duty right off the rip. And, sorry, Mom, I got to go and do my own life instead of worrying about you right now. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Joe.
All right. What did I write here? Oh yeah. I've always taken things way too seriously, and that started at a young age. Like anything that I was passionate about, like it's okay to be passionate about things, but once that passion becomes like very serious, like you definitely takes you to the dark side. Like, I was an angry, angry, angry young man. My nickname for a long time was Angry Joe. And part of the reason I moved from Baltimore to Portland was because, I was trying to change that. I didn't want to be angry anymore. And so, I moved to Oregon to get away from a lot of the things that kept like pulling me back in when I tried to change. And so, but I think it all started with, I just always took everything so seriously. And if you it's okay to like definitely take things seriously, but there's definitely a point at which it becomes counterproductive.
Yeah. Do you think, so we've been reading this book called Daring Greatly, and it's a lot about shame and like how when we have shame about stuff, we do silly things. And you were right before this, you were talking about
Low self-esteem.
Yeah, like low self-esteem and like struggling with stuff, and like all of your self-worth comes from how like what you've done and things that you're good at. I wonder if your anger and like seriousness is like a way to deal with the shame of not being good enough at something or not feeling good enough at things. You haven't read the book, so your vernacular is might be,
I don't know.
might be a good book to read. Just saying. Daring Greatly. It was a life-changing book for me, let me tell you.
It's a good book.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that I always took, once I got to a point that I could just like step back and go, all right, is this really worth like screaming over? Do you really need to make those kids cry because they didn't like do their forms? Do you really need to be this person? I got to a point like people liked me being that person, like, and that's why it was hard to get away from, because that screaming to me went both ways. When I was like yelling at people, when I was yelling at officers and stuff like that, everybody thought that was super cool.
Yeah. That's that's your usefulness now. Once nobody else, there's so few people that are comfortable being, I don't mean unhinged, like in the sense that you were actually at a loss of control, but like to get to that level and be that tool of kind of aggression. It's rare to find that person, especially the military uses those people for, hey, you go punish that person because I know that you're going to smoke their ass and not feel bad about it. So go get them. You become the hammer, and that's your only job ever. It gets perpetuated really badly.
Yeah, I was the hammer.
Yeah.
I will say though, I feel like by the time you got to our unit and like maybe, I don't know if you'd been like trying not to be that person, because you said like, you moved to Oregon and tried, to get away from the life that you had like on the East Coast essentially. Like, I will say I did not think you were like an angry person, and I don't know.
That's the thing, is that like even in Maryland for like the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years before I left, I had calmed down. Like I was in my 30s now.
Yeah.
I'd sort of figured out through different things. I'd studied Buddhism a little bit, and I'd sort of gotten to like figuring out the things that are that serious and the things that aren't that serious, and figuring out like, am I this way because I want to be? Or am I this way because other people want me to be?
Right.
And like it got, very much to a point like, I'm this way because everybody else thinks it's cool, but I don't actually like it. It's actually not a lot. I'd actually rather be more like that guy who's happy and has fun and is cool all the time. I want to get more. I maybe don't need to be all the way that way, but I'd like to be more like that. And so but being where I was and the people wanting me to be that, they just found ways to like pull it out of me. Like even as much as I like tried to resist it, everybody just kept pulling it out of me. And I was just like, if I'm going to change the way I want to change, I got to get away from this.
Yeah. 100%.
And I ended up ultimately being right, because I did end up for the most part, getting to be the kind of person, kind of leader I wanted to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad because I mean,
100%.
yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were great.
I think you were many people's favorite senior leader at that time.
Definitely.
In
100%.
the
Without a
time
doubt.
that you were here. So
Yeah.
mission success.
Without a doubt. I knew I could go to you with anything and you would take care of shit.
Yeah.
Most good at taking care of shit.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So
Okay.
daring greatly. Check it out. Serious.
Word.
I swear by that book. I'll swear my life on it. All right, Liv. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's a really good book. Okay. So advice, I guess like something that I would tell my 16-year-old self to do, because my 16-year-old self never even thought I would ever like join the military, join the guard, like just literally anything military related. I never saw that for myself, didn't think I would ever do it. But I would tell myself at 16 to join the guard. But maybe try to do it as an officer. Not that there's anything wrong with
16?
enlisting. No, I'm saying this is to your 16-year-old self.
Yeah.
Not you know what I mean? So like
so go
when
to
I'm 16, I would tell, or like if I'm looking back and telling my 16-year-old self, I'd be like, you should definitely join the military, but maybe you should do it as an officer.
Oh, so go through college first. Didn't you pay for college though through being in the guard?
Well, yes, I did, but I yeah, that's true. Okay, well, good point. Yeah, but maybe I would have done like, well, because ROTC's active duty. I don't know, but I think definitely, regardless of how I was in the guard, even if I just told myself, hey, join, like whether officer, enlisted, just like give it a shot, basically, because obviously I did, and it's worked out. It's worked out really well for me. I have a lot of great people in my life because of the guard and knowledge and my gosh, sorry, and experiences, and yeah. So that is one thing that I don't think I would. It's not something that I regret about my life at all. So I would encourage my 16-year-old self to still join the military, I guess is where I'm going with it.
Hell yeah.
Because it was a very good decision.
Very good decision. I agree.
Yeah.
You have a podcast from it. So it's,
I do. Look at this. And I have
worth it.
great friends that I get to talk to.
Yeah. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Or my next one is going to be learn your codependencies. Actually, yeah, I'll say it that way. Learn your codependencies. Sorry, I'm having to spell that out while I type it. I still spelled it wrong. There we go. The better word that I like to use for this that I learned recently was survival strategies. So another word for what are your codependencies, like and this isn't just romantic relationships, but in like with your friends too. Like what survival strategies did you learn as a child based on your childhood? So understand what those are so that you can better manage all of your relationships in your future life, because you know that it's like, for me, I'm a people pleaser. I like to do things for people. I will put the gas mask on somebody else before I put it on myself. Like always thinking outwardly about other people to the point where I will throw my entire life on the burner and be confident that I'll be fine to help other people. I'm not saying that's not a good thing, but it's an extreme thing. And like if I had known that about myself rather than just thinking that I was being, what's the word? I don't know, just some like being heroic, like thinking really highly of myself because of that, and just like, so I just never explored it because I thought so much of it, but I didn't actually understand any of it. I think I would be a lot further in life and have much stronger relationships with all my friends if I actually understood, one, what codependencies are, and two, what mine are and where they came from, so that I could have actioned them before the age of 33. That would have been very helpful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put your mask on before you put anybody else's on.
100%.
You're not good to anyone unless you're right.
Yeah. Preach. That's it.
All right. My third one sort of. Or wait, is it my turn?
Yeah.
It is. Okay. My third one sort of relates to my second one. It took me too long to figure out that that real strength is about lifting up and supporting the people around you and supporting systems around you. And that, just because you felt weak when you were being bullied or when you were being put down or when things weren't going your way, that doesn't mean that the people around you were strong. Trying to put people down, it comes from a place of fear and insecurity, and that comes from a place of weakness. Don't put people down, lift people up. Like that's where your strength lies. That's your drive off the tee. That's your power. Trying to stifle people, trying to slow other people down, that's your insecurity. That's your weakness, and you just don't feed that.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I really like that too.
There was an analogy I heard a long time ago, which was like, imagine you're in a situation where you have a choice. You can either push somebody down or you can pull somebody up. And think of yourself in a situation where you're pushing somebody down. You have to lower yourself to push down. Whereas if you're lifting somebody up, one, you're helping that person get off the ground, but you're actually also making yourself taller because you're like getting on your tippy toes and stuff. And yeah, that's just always, I don't know why that made so much sense to me in my brain. That no matter what happens, if you try to lift somebody up, even if they, do the biggest fuck up in the world, you can tell them that they fucked up. But as long as you then immediately also try to lift them up. And lately I've had some second thoughts about this because I'm like, wait, is that just me being a conflict avoider? And so I've had to do some thinking about that, but I think it's the right thing to do. It's not conflict avoiding at all. Like, or if it is, sometimes it's even okay to conflict avoid, because if you're lifting other people up, you're making yourself better too. I don't know. But do you guys think it ever is conflict avoiding?
No, I don't think
I don't think
supporting.
so.
I don't think supporting people is ever conflict avoiding.
No.
Unless it's being dishonest. If it's coming from a dishonest place, then that's different. But if you're really doing what you believe is best for another person and giving them the support they need to accomplish the goals they want to accomplish and do the things in life that they want to do, I don't think that's ever conflict avoidance.
Yeah, same. I think it's totally separate.
Yeah. That's good. That angle helps. Because I've been struggling with that lately, because it's like, am I doing this because I'm conflict avoiding, or am I doing this because I actually think it's the right thing to do? And I think it's the right thing to do. Like I genuinely believe that, but I don't know. I've been trying to get over this conflict avoidance thing, and so sometimes the streams cross, and it's hard to delineate which do I trust that I'm actually doing, because I've had such a propensity for conflict avoidance. So it's like, man, is this just a learned skill from conflict avoidance? I don't think it is. But then it's like, am I just
I think if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm honestly being honest, right?
Yeah.
If I'm honestly being honest with this person about how I feel, because because if you're being dishonest with people because you don't want the conflict, that's conflict avoidance. But if you're being honest with somebody and they feel some kind of way about it, like, all right, like that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, if you can honestly say, no, I'm being honest with this person, I'm not just telling them the things that they want to hear, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Right. Fair enough. Sweet.
100%.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. I think it's
helps.
important to communicate too. Like if you're getting pushback, be like, I thought like, or I think I'm like helping you, or maybe not word it like that, but just like I thought I was doing the right thing, if you ever get any pushback. Because if you don't
pushback,
go ahead.
you also got to listen to pushback a lot of times, and
Yeah.
because that pushback may come back in a way that's hard to digest. Listening to what a person is saying and not how they're saying it is important. They may have misinterpreted you and read you wrong in that, and then they come back the wrong way, and it's like, all right, then you got to diffuse a situation and go,
Right.
all right, it wasn't supposed to be this, but I hear what you're saying, or you have to listen to what a lot of times people don't know how to say what they want or what their goals are. You really have to listen to what they're trying to say, really get to the root of what they're trying to say and what they're trying to do. And at a certain point, you do have to give up. You can't make anybody do the things that you want them to do, or be the person you want them to be. You just have to leave it to them to figure it out on their own at a certain point. And that's not conflict avoidance. That's just good management to a certain point, because if you're sitting there trying to beat something into somebody and they're not going to take it, well, when at times when they may even agree with you, they'll push back just out of fucking habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. It's
I
a
think
good angle.
I think we're all guilty of that one. Even if we don't want to admit it, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Great advice. I'm going to take your advice to your 16-year-old self on that one.
Same.
All right, Tots' turn.
All right. My next one. Don't stress about... Oh, I did the don't wrong. Anyway, don't stress about the future. Which, even though I'm telling my 16-year-old self this, I feel like it's also good for me to tell my 26-year-old self about this. I used to get myself so worked up and so stressed out about my future and what was going to happen and am I making the right choice. And I think just going back and being like, look, don't stress about it. Everything's going to work out. Everything always does work out, even if it's hard to get there or you encounter challenges along the way. Everything eventually will work out, and you just have to keep taking everything day by day. Because I used to stress about, I just used to get myself so worked up basically, and worry and stress about the future. And now I'm kind of starting to do that again. And I think it's kind of a full circle moment of this is kind of the feeling I had when I was 16, when I was a teenager trying to figure out what path I'm going to take with my life. And yeah, ultimately you just have to be decisive and pick something. And yeah, and it's okay. It's okay if that's not
the right choice for you. You can always go back and change. It's never too late to like change, basically. So I think that's really important to tell my 16-year-old self and now my 26-year-old self.
Yeah, one of my favorite teachings by the Dalai Lama was that worry serves no purpose. That if you're worried about something in the future or something that's coming up, think about what you can do. If there's something you can do about it, then do that thing. And if there's nothing you can do about it, well, worrying isn't going to fix it. Worrying isn't going to do anything about it. So why are you worrying?
Yeah.
Right? Think about the things you can do and get to work. Like that's all you can do. Like worry comes from a place of just like this idea that we have, this idea of control that we have that is just it's incorrect. We don't have control. We have some influence on our surroundings, but really we can only control the things we can control. And outside of that, like we just, muddle through and do the best you can.
100%.
Like worrying about it, all it's just going to do is ruin your day.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Jordan Peterson has it's kind of like the same thing, but for slightly, it's the perspective that's really spoken to me, which is you can actually predict your future and you can predict it by what you do today. I mean, anything can happen and change it, but the actions you do today is direct action to make the future that you're seeing. So, worry about your action today, not the future.
Yeah. Which like very real in my personal life right now. Like resume reworking is like a huge one. Just getting things ready so that if I do need to start actioning upon that I'm not scrambling and now being stressed about having to get a resume together and doing this and doing that. And like, yeah, so like a big thing for me, like this week probably is I'm going to just have that at the ready and I just need to stop like worrying and stressing and losing sleep over it because ultimately this has turned into a situation that I can't control, but what I can control is getting stuff ready, doing job research, like doing the work beforehand, starting to figure out if I do want to pursue like teaching certificates, okay, what do I need to get together to submit to start doing that to the blah, 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 So yeah, like definitely focusing on what you can do instead of worrying. And then also, like ultimately kind of trying to predict your future like the best that you can by controlling what you're doing. So yeah, I would tell that to 16-year-old Olivia too.
Yeah.
Don't forget to enjoy your life too. Like when the
100%.
things come along, like do the things that you can do to the point that you can do them, and then go do something fun, and then go out to dinner and enjoy your life a little bit.
Right, for sure. Super important piece.
I think there's also, I mean, this is, I don't even know if this is possible, and I'm not trying to make a thing to say that I'm more wise than you, or that Joe is more wise than either of us, but age, it like doesn't really start clicking because, at the age of 20, that 20 years feels like a lifetime because that is your lifetime. So, to think from 20 to 25, that 5 years is a huge amount of lifetime. So you're like, oh my God, if I don't get something done in 5 years, holy shit. But then like you're getting close to 35 and you're like 20 to 25, that was nothing. That was that time like didn't even matter. I could have done anything and like it didn't even matter. So it's just like at a certain age you start looking back and you're like, oh, I literally, I know so many people that started their life in their 40s, and I still have 7 years to get into my 40s. Wow, I literally have so much time. I don't know why I stressed so much at a young age because I thought that 30 was old and I have to have a career and all this shit. It's like it's just absolutely not true. But like, how do you convince a 20-year-old?
Society puts that on people, man. They're like,
Yeah.
you know, I had kids by this age and we were married and we had a house by this age and, you know, and all that stuff that's all different now. Like so much stuff is unaffordable and it's just not, you know, it's just not economical to do things the way they did in the fucking 70s, 80s, 90s and just, you know, live out that life. And so much of it now is, you know, trying to find a way. They want more. They keep wanting more. And it's just, it's not possible to live the way now that they did back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Age just does something for perspective that I don't know. I wish we could impart it onto people, but I don't think we can, unfortunately.
Yeah. Comes with age.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Marcus.
All right. I kind of talked about this one already when I talked about the codependencies, which is learn what shame is and then learn what you have shame about. Because in my opinion, and this comes from Darren Greatly, aka the Shame Book, shame controls all of us, and mostly what we don't do, and most of what we don't do are the things that would make us happy. And the really important ones are like okay, what kind of leader do I want to be? What part of shame is stopping you from being the leader that you want to be? What shame is stopping you from being the friend that you want to be? What shame is stopping you from being the partner that you want to be, or pursuing the job that you truly want to do but don't feel like you have any qualification or any right to want to do, or you're not smart enough? What kind of hobbies you pursue, etc. Like, I don't know how. Maybe there's a lot of dudes out there that would really love dancing, but a lot of guys don't pursue dancing because it's kind of viewed as like gay and feminine. But maybe it's really fun, but dudes just don't know it. I don't know. I hate dancing, but I hate dancing because I'm really fucking terrible at it, and it's super embarrassing. Maybe if I got really good at it, I'd have a ton of fun. I have no idea because I've never tried it. But it's just an example, you know. What do you have shame about? So learn what shame is, and then learn what you have shame about, and don't ever let shame stop you from doing what you want to try to do. Because it stopped me from doing a lot of things in life. And it's lame. Shame is lame.
Haha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shame is not lame.
Shame is super fucking lame. It's like the lamest thing a human could have is shame. But we all have it.
Okay.
It's true. It really, not lame as in like you're a lame person. It just,
Oh, okay.
everybody would be like
Yeah, it
50%
sucks.
more
Yeah.
fun if you didn't have shame. Like
I
everyone
have
would
shame
just,
about pooping at work.
you have shame about a lot of things, but you also don't have a lot of the same shame a lot of people have, which is why you're so fun. And people like, somebody today at Drill made you're talking about like doing a hot wash, talking about like
Yeah.
MWR events. And somebody was like, well, Olivia left. So like, we don't have a party planner anymore. So like,
oh
what do we
my
do?
God, who said that?
I don't
I
remember.
need to send them a text and say thank you.
Yeah. Everyone was like,
That's
well, what do we do?
hilarious.
Like, there's no Olivia to be here to like
Oh
put
my
fun
God.
things together. Yeah. Don't
Oh,
cry.
That makes me kind of sad.
Don't cry. Come back. Come back,
Stupid
please.
government.
Yeah.
Stupid cyber.
And it's just because like you don't have shame to be like, hey, let's go do this dumb thing.
Yeah, I don't care.
And it's silly. It's just something to do. And everyone's like, oh, thank God someone stepped up and like came up with an idea.
Oh, thank God someone said we're going to Bubba's again tonight.
Yeah.
Me and
Alright.
Wyatt,
Yeah.
Bubba's Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Preach. We need to make a Bubba's patch. I'm gonna text him that.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
need to make the potato peeler patch too.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Get to it.
Chippy chop chop. All right, Joe.
All right, my last one. Trust people; it'll be fine.
Yes.
I think I grew up, all around a lot of people, or in our society, I think tries to tell you, oh, be careful of these people, and be careful of this thing, and be careful of that. They'll stab you in the back, or they'll let you down. Da 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 da. And that may be the case, and that may happen sometimes, where people will let you down for whatever reasons, for however it happens. But you're strong enough, you're smart enough, you're good enough to overcome it, and it'll be fine. And but the moments when you trust people and you believe in people pay off a lot more than they don't, and the payoff from it is a lot higher than the pitfalls. So don't get wrapped up in, oh, what if this person stabs me in the back or lets me down or something like that. Okay, well then that's their thing. That's on them. You'll be fine. Overcome it. Trusting people is not a bad thing. Mistrust comes from a place of weakness. Trust comes from a place of strength.
100%.
Yeah. That's really good too.
Yeah. I think that one should be on everyone's list, unless that's just kind of, I feel like Liv, you and I are kind of, we've talked about this before. We give people trust immediately, and then people have to lose it.
People have to lose it.
And I'm really happy I'm that way. I've known plenty of people that have trust issues, and I'm like, I don't know how you live life. Just on the edge of everybody always, just distrustful of everyone. It sounds so stressful.
Oh, yeah.
And because most of the time, too, like if a friend screws you over, lets you down, are they letting you down because they hate you and they're trying to cut deep? No, they probably had some shit going on in their life. And like in that moment, they needed to put the oxygen mask over themselves first. And that means you got boned. And you should also do that. Like if you put yourself in their situation, maybe you would have done the same thing. So like, why are you getting upset? Of course they let you down. They had to put themselves first.
Right.
So
yeah, that's my honorable mention for advices was everybody's just doing their best. Nobody 100%. Is out to get you. Yeah. Like everybody's just doing their best.
Yeah. I think on episode 1, was it Life Mottos? Didn't I say it's not personal? Like nothing is personal. Stop taking, or maybe stop taking everything so personally. It's not about you.
Right. Nobody is thinking about you that much. I know you think the world revolves around you, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, your best friend making an emergency in the moment situation didn't write down every friend's name and the impact of their decision on every friend and then go, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I can't do that. No, they just made a decision without thinking of anybody else, and they're not wrong for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, say it louder for the people in the back.
Yeah, I like that one. I like it a lot. My last one, it's kind of a meme, but it's kind of not. Buy Bitcoin. Because
dude, that's so good.
It's funny. It's funny, but it's also true because I'm looking at I wanted to do a little research, and I'm looking at a graph right now of when it really took off. And when I was 16 years old, that was in 2014, okay? But then when I graduated high school, okay, so 2016, I'm looking at June 1st, 2016 right now. It was $537.04. Now, I definitely had $537.04 in my bank account. I definitely had more than that. And if I just would have been smarter, things might have worked out for me, because the boom in 2017 was wild. and I would probably have a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
But it's true. Or like buy Bitcoin, but in parentheses, I'm gonna be like invest more. Potentially. Just get into it, try to learn it. Money isn't everything, but hell of a lot you can't do without it.
Yeah. Well, even
So that's why I said it's kind of a meme, but it's also kind of like, nah, actually.
that's not a
'cause
meme at all.
Yeah, it's like, well, because like to me, investing is more like a long term thing. Like I know people day trade, and like people are very good at day trading, but for me, it's more of like and obviously with Bitcoin, like it's done very well. So I feel like it would have been a really great investment to get into like actual Bitcoin and not like ETFs and blah blah blah. So this could have been something great there, and I missed the boat.
Yeah.
So now I have to earn my money like everyone else does.
Yeah, like a fucking peasant.
Working for the man.
You know, working for the government. Well, even in 2020,
Maybe not for long.
When Bitcoin crashed from like 30,000 to 3,000, I was gonna buy some, and then I just like forgot. I was like, oh, I'll wait for it to go down a little bit more. I don't trust it. I'll check back in a week, and then I forgot for 6 months, and then it was up to 60,000, and I was like, God damn it!
Yeah.
That was my chance.
Yeah.
Womp.
But at the same time, like 16-year-old Olivia wouldn't have given a singular F about this. So would she have listened? Probably not. But 26-year-old Olivia is like, you could have quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Absolutely. Okay, my last one is kind of going to be a meme too, but it might seem like a meme for some people. It's not a meme for me because it's something that I really, and I've said this to myself so many times, and I just never follow it. And I wish I would have, is don't stop going to the gym.
Preach.
Yeah.
Just like every time I start going to the gym and I'm at like month 2, I'm like, God damn, like why couldn't I have just, even if it's just 2-3 times a week and done super casually, I'm not even in here like really pushing myself. I could have come in. I would be so much further right now. I'd be so proud of myself. But instead, I just got lazy and found excuses, and it's fucking stupid. And I wish I just would have done something 2 or 3 times a week at a minimum. You know, perfect world to be way more than that, but realistically, right? Like just always finding a reason, and then you go for like a year and you're like, wow, if I just kept going, imagine, and then something happens and then you don't go for 2 years and then you start going again and you're like, dude, how did I let this happen? Like, why am I so stupid?
Honorable mention for myself that I wrote down, advice to Olivia, young Olivia, was the metabolism you have right now will not last forever.
Yeah.
That was my honorable mention.
Oh.
So I had a pretty good run. Made it to like 35 before. Now I can't burn anything off anymore.
Yeah.
35 is pretty good.
I've always had a super slow metabolism. I've always been a chubster.
Yeah.
Do I have any honorable mentions?
Oh,
well, I have an honorable. Well, I've already said it. So, you know, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. That's a pretty obvious one. But I think 16-year-old me heard that. You know, I'd definitely been on a plane. I'd heard that and it was just like whatever, didn't think about it any deeper. Just heard it, went out one ear, went out the other. But it's such a simple statement, but actually has so much impact if you actually live it and fully understand it. And then I already said this one too, but don't feel stuck in Oregon. Just, yeah, I felt stuck. I felt like it was the right thing to do to stay in Oregon for my mom. And I'm not saying it wasn't, but I wish I would have chosen differently. Sorry, Mom.
It sounded like the right thing to do to me.
I mean, it's worked out okay now, but
100%.
that's hard. It's hard to say what life could have been if I didn't. If I'd
Right,
gone
but,
active duty, got my GI Bill, gone to school, maybe I could have been a pilot like I wanted to be, instead of just finding excuses to not go to school because I was in the Guard, and like it's so much. It worked out okay. In a different timeline, if I could live 2 timelines, I'm curious what it would have looked like if I had not gone to school and just gone active duty for 4 years and then gone to school.
Right.
Very curious.
But, like you said, it's a hard thing to do, to leave your mom behind. And like, that's for somebody who's, you said you struggled with shame. I mean, that's a lot of guilt to carry around.
Oh, so
100%.
so much guilt. That's literally all it was guilt. Because like how I'm the only thing. Well, I mean, my mom had my stepdad, her husband, but her only bloodline family, and I'm just gonna up and leave. Like I don't know if guilt is obligated. I felt obligated to stay. And I hope she doesn't listen to this episode. I don't think she listens to the podcast. She's not a podcast listener, because I think she'd be really sad if I said that. So I hope, Mom, turn it off. Unhear this if you're here. Don't be sad. But if you are, you can call me. Let's talk about it. I should call her and talk about it anyway. Get it off my chest. All right, that's all my honorable mentions. Anybody else have anything else to say in general?
This was fun, you guys. If I don't come on the podcast anymore, we should do like happy hours or something.
I agree.
That'd be super
I'm so
fun.
down for that.
We should get we gotta do happy hours with like Foxy and Spicy and all the old crew.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll try to set something up that'd be really fun. We did 3 hours and 13 minutes and 30 seconds, so that flew by. To all the listeners. Yeah.
So much content.
To all the listeners, thanks for sticking by. Thanks for listening.
Thank you,
if you made it this
always. 11 episodes.
Yeah, please leave us your lists in the comments. And to Joe, thanks for coming on. You're a true friend. You're an inspirational human. I miss your face, miss your laugh, miss our deep convos. And
retweet to everything Marcus just said.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it on. And unless you don't want to, if it's my call, you'll definitely be back on the podcast.
Oh, same here.
And even if you don't want to, you're going to be back on the podcast. You don't have a choice.
We're inviting you, but you don't have an RSVP. It already says yes.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. At some point, we will. Actually, at some point, once we get a large number of friends through kind of these like one-on-one, they're the only guest. I think it'd be fun to start bringing on multiple guests and maybe do.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe do just like 1 or 2 topics, and then just have way more people talking and getting heated. I think that'd be really fun. So
same here.
Because burning through 3 topics an episode, we're kind of starting to run low on ideas.
I know. Maybe we should bump it down to 2.
Yeah, bring on more people and
just
go
topics.
down to 2 topics. Yeah, just go like regular can be funny or regular, and then like a serious one. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
We talk about it offline before we waste everybody's time listening.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, get in the comments. Give us your ideas for how to evolve the show. Something small, at least something small changes every single episode behind the scenes. Maybe some of you notice, maybe some of you don't, and that's okay. But if you have ideas of what would make it more interesting to listen to, please let us know. We'd love to hear your ideas. This is a community show for all our friends, so start being friends and leave some comments.
Exactly.
Uh,
All
Joe,
right,
any
fellas.
closing words? If
I love you
not, that's
guys.
okay.
Miss you guys.
Yeah,
Love and
you know,
miss you too.
cool beans. All right. Well, signing off. See ya.
See ya.